aggression from blue here. Neither team really wants to commit quite yet. We're seeing a soldier bomb in from blue, getting in on their demo actually. Double bomb gets the demo, but they trade out both soldiers for it. In the meantime, though, just picks coming in for blue. It's at full white for Mog 70.
To me, what I saw there was I saw a bunch of passive positioning on the early mid round, and then now as we see Loki just trying to destroy the sentry before it gets set up, which is a good heads up play. You don't want that thing to get up to level 3, but they were playing very passive on the mids, and they were waiting for some good damage, and Marty Banana, the soldier from Mog 70, was pretty low for the majority of that. They use that passive positioning to just take aggressive high ground control and then get both Chill and Fly in a position to go for a double bomb. And it sectioned out Winter too, which is really great.
Yeah, trading both soldiers for a demo is like, you can be happy for that as the demo or the team that loses their demo, but during that soldier bomb, they just kind of walked across point, and I guess Mog 70 wasn't ready for it or something, but yeah, they just kind of lost for it. We do see the demos sub out there, so Red doesn't actually have any stickies on point because of that, and the cap time is actually pretty brutal. They are getting some picks, so 3 up becomes 2 up. It looks like they will hold, but that got a little scary there with losing their demo.
Francis got bombed by Marty down to 3 HP, but is somehow still able to make it out through Shutter despite taking 2 direct close-range rockets. And in this scenario, Marty, Banana, and Trance should be looking to make space. Trance is actually going to stay on the last and potential for a back cap, but because they see Sheep and Francis both up, I'm surprised that Trance isn't leaving this last point.
Yeah, and that being said, Mach 70 was just fighting too there. Their soldier was kind of isolated, got picked off by a scout, and now it's just demo mad. The rest of the team is kind of baiting at last, and it's looking kind of rough here as far as the second point goes.
And Loki might catch him.
Loki getting behind, yeah, he's on the other team's bats, just completely behind. Will just opt to jump out.
I was surprised. I thought they were going to go for
scary
a sandwich,
situation.
but they lost both their soldiers.
They were down both soldiers, but that's like that's just in like the scoreboard only, because they still had like many players behind, so the actual player numbers weren't that different. They are just trying to dry in here. This is disad, so Blue just uses Uber. They're gonna pick up probably 2 or 3 picks here. Slick taking a while to go down because of that. Salas is probably just gonna live.
But Chill on the flank jumped in through Saw really fast and he's ahead of the combo leaving from Mog 70, and he gets onto Pumpkin and drops him down. So now Francis is going to have a sizable Uber at heading into this last point. That was
with a full wipe. So we're seeing Available just go on heavy. Unfortunately on the wrong minigun. They probably won't have time to get a sentry gun up here. Actually, they would totally have enough time. Blue's only at 50%. So yeah, Salas is going on NG. They're going to have some time to set up some defense, but ultimately this is still disad, and it's really up to Mog 70 to try and lock this down.
No, getting some early information on where the sentry is, and spotted towards the right shutter door. That's some really good info that you want. You want to be swatting out very early, even despite this Uber that you have.
It does go down just as they're about to get to, so no gun to really worry about.
And Sheep is going to lead this, and they do use him, leading on Loki the demo first, but they're going to focus on the heavy really quickly. Trance gets bounced up into the sky, will get killed. 2 picks early for Bulldozer experience, and Sheep is onto the medic. Medic and heals are down from Mod 70. It's just 3 players left on low subpar
nice
HP.
Little air shot there from Fly as well. This should be around. Yeah, I noticed Slick died very early, like about the same time that Heavy did. I don't know where they were positioned or what, but ended up going down quite early. Made that much harder to hold.
Not having your main demo, Winter, is going to hurt Mog 70's chances here, but despite that, they are still the #1 seed. But against a team that is very good DM-wise, and based on that first mid where the double soldier bomb was very well coordinated and the combo walked across at the nick of time, I'm very worried for Mog 70 here on this map.
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering this is a map they had some issues with in the regular season. We are seeing Fast Bomb in for Mach 70, getting some decent damage, buying some decent space. They're trading out picks. Health is horrible on Blue. Yeah, Pumpkin does go down. So now it's kind of just up to Mach 70 to Chaos here, and we'll see if the Bulldozer experience just... Yeah, they are baiting a bit, just protecting their heals.
No way they're going to...
Numbers are pretty even. Yeah, Francis is quite safe. So... Now it's just up to Bulldozer to get their spawners, try and dry through mid, and just get mid with their ad, and hopefully still have some Uber working forward looking into 2, but, you know, one step at a time.
Francis with a really good kite, you know, as we saw the double soldier bomb, he was already out towards Saw now. You could get juggled in and sandwiched there, but he left so early that they weren't able to kill him.
Oh, and they're just going to use through. Pumpkin maybe could have been caught, but the demo bomb got a little stuffed there, so they're going to get out.
Oh, and Marty's
quite
caught
safe.
in. Marty's caught in, but he's actually going to go behind, so if he stays alive, no. He could have created a distraction that could have diverted the attention of Bulldozer.
They do trade out soldiers. Red doesn't quite have yet, actually, only 70%, so Blue's going to be able to set up some type of defense here, hopefully have some nice traps up, maybe get a force, and try and flip-flop mid again.
Now, if they had spotted out the Uber coming in from Saw, I think Marty shouldn't have tried to stay in there and go for a hide play. Now they're going to be down a soldier to not jump in and make.
They are taking a Saw. They might be doing the same. No, they're trying to dry wide Saw. They see that passive positioning, decide not to use. Wow. And yeah, Blue's just out. They gave it up, didn't send a soldier, nothing. They do have a sniper on Chill. Ubers are evening out.
And they're going
Chill's
lower
getting a shot lower. They're going to walk right into him. He is spotted, so Pumpkin's going to be baiting. But they're actually just trying to dry in. Maybe they still think it's ad. A little scary.
On the med here, and they do force up the Uber,
they do get a force, but they trade out for it. Some flashes from Blue, some flashes from Red. Oh, Snow
but
actually going down. But the
positioning is not good for Mog 70. They could get collapsed on, but because Chill's on the sniper, they can't do a double
Pumpkin
collapse.
Gets sniped. And now it's just 3v5.
Oh, but they got
Trans actually
Francis.
bombing in, gets the med.
And we see with a pipe.
This is some crazy salvage from only 3 players up.
Salas
is behind, probably going to get on the sniper, get another pick.
And he can start the back cap, which forces these players to go back a second to fight him. But, you know, the forwards are going to come in a lot faster now, and they won't be pressured on mid.
That's just a 1v2. He's going to get cleaned up there. But, yeah, that was a crazy salvage from those 3 players up. Should have just been a complete collapse. Actually, that being said, Sheep is kind of in mid, just peeking around.
And Marty went behind in a second. That was a huge feed. I'm not sure what he was really attempting to go for. Maybe he thought the combo was respawning a little later, but he tried to bomb behind and got spotted out immediately. And Trance is going to get caught here too. He gets caught on the logs and will fall down too cheap. Yeah,
those late deaths just gave player ad to Bulldozer there. It was looking horrible for them, like losing to those 3 players, but ultimately Ubers were still even, and they had those late picks to work off of, so it's a free midpoint. They are peeking lower, trying to potentially work a sack or just dry in even. Looks like they are just doing just that. The spam is a little too much, though. They're going to have to back out.
Why don't the medic? He could potentially get 2
very down.
Oh, he hits the 3 rockets to kill Pumpkin, and that caps off his 5k. Chill might be caught in here towards Cheese. He's taking a 2v1.
They know about it. Yeah, 2 scouts in.
Oh, wow.
Definitely a heads-up play there. I mean, kind of an off-timing sack because neither team had Uber quite yet, but you know, he saw the opportunity, went for it, and now it's going to be full ad into last because 2's pretty much free now.
And it's a death wish here to fight second if you are Mog 70, despite 2 soldiers being down for Bulldozer, because if you wipe here on the second, you pretty much give up last, so...
Yeah, we've seen many Snakewater rounds flip just because a team fights second when they shouldn't and wipes for it. So we do see Bulldozer just peeking lower. They might take this Uber straight through lower. Looks like they are. They use Demo's bombing left, taking out gun.
Oh,
Fly actually going down, so they're down a player, although Pumpkin's going to die. Loki dies, though, so does Sheep. Slick dies. We're seeing just all sorts of picks trade out. It's just up to Chill.
And it's
Will get traded out in the 1v2.
So 11 players died in that last push. It was really bad, though, because when they used in on Bulldozer, Fly went in at the same time through top left from Bulldozer's perspective. So he got killed immediately by 2 flank players holding top right. Now, granted, you don't want to be holding that forward on this situation, but Fly getting killed there kind of... He should have delayed a second or 2. Really.
Yeah, so we do see Salas on Spy, actually. I think just off-class checking, actually. Yeah, in those situations, a lot of Uber ad pushes, there just needs to be a lot of good communication between the combo and the flank, because as the flank, you really only want to get in when your combo has bought that space, and that was not the case quite yet. They were still taking out a gun. They never really got their foothold in any good positioning. They were kind of just stuck on the low ground in the center. So it ended up just trading down a bunch of picks, and Mog 70 had enough players at the end.
You are right. And I remember Sheep was using most of that Uber to kill Pumpkin. So if they had actually gotten like repositioned on top left post Uber, had Fly stayed alive, they could have repositioned top left, I believe. And then they could have just played the heal games from there. But never mind, moving on forwards. We have an even Uber situation. Chill's actually going to go in early, but they Sentry in grass in that banning spot that was popularized by him back in the I series will kill him, and that's going to put us in a counter-attack situation where I think Trance should be going in soon, but he's actually not going to. I think they're just going to run down the timer here.
Interesting. Yeah, 3 minutes left. Counter-sacking out of Snake can be very difficult, or Snake Last, rather. You do have to be pretty fast on it, and it's tough to get good pressure in.
Kills him the sniper, or the spy, and then Salem is already checking him, so they already know Chill's the spy.
They will know. Disguised as enemy spy, so yeah. Immediately comes up Pyro. Chill's gonna have a tough time here getting anything done. Disguised as the friendly sniper. This is a funny strat. Just trying to reveal themselves as a sniper. Hopefully get some paranoia instilled in the hearts of Mog 70 here, but they know better. They already spy checked, and it's gonna be a little tough here. They do have a sniper of their own.
The best thing
Chill
that I
walking in lower, getting into position.
The best thing that I can think of here is if I am Bulldozer experience based on how the Sentry is being positioned, I would sap the Sentry and then I would give the opportunity for Fly to sack in.
Yeah, sap Sentry, send a soldier as a double sack. Honestly, that tends to be a more effective sack than just double sacking a soldier scout into the Sentry. We'll see. Chill just sitting on top of the truck. They're peeking the gun. I think they're just playing for the spy play, but obviously they know. They have a Pyro just shooting everything, so they obviously know there's a spy. They're just checking for it. If I'm Chill here, I'm trying to formulate some type of plan involving that gun, because you're probably not going to be able to get in on the med alone.
They need to go fast. They already know. Trance is still spy checking. Sheep gets body shot down to 5 HP. And Trance, you need to make a play, my dear friend. There's not enough, or Chill, you need to make a dear play, because there's not enough time left. There's only a minute after this sack goes down. They probably only have an opportunity for one good push.
Pyro does go into spawn.
Oh, he's on the medic, but he turns around, Pumpkin, and
not able to get anything.
Down.
Was still disguised as the friendly player, actually, I think, and got gunned down by the Sentry. Yeah, and that was a huge time loss for Bulldozer here in a situation where you really want to be just getting those sacks in, and just every single opportunity you can to get that force and get that Uber ad. They kind of just waited forever to go for one, and it didn't work out, and now you're going to have to go for an exchange. 30 seconds, not a lot of time to get...
Chill's on Sniper, too, so this is a very awkward exchange for Bulldozer, because they won't have a second soldier to bomb point post-Uber. Snow is caught in through lower. The combo had to fall back into lobby to recommit through top left for Bulldozer, and then they're getting sandwiched by Marty
they're just losing
in the back
picks.
line. Yeah, this is pretty much all she wrote for the round. We're going to head into a stalemate here, provided Mog 70 doesn't actually go for the cap. And then we're going to head into a mid refight.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with coming up Sniper, because there's nothing, like, your only play there with 30 seconds, that's already a big time crunch for an exchange. You'd hopefully have more time than that. Like, a Sniper's just not going to be able to get anything done in the amount of time. Either way, though, we saw a good hold there from Mog 70. Didn't seem like Bulldozer really knew how to deal with it, so we'll see if a situation like that comes up again. Either way, we're on mid here. Demo's just trading spam. Loki opting to try and actually just going down instantly to Slick.
They connected stickies, and that should enable the walk forward. That's okay, he's walking forward with his team. Walking out, saw that's so much major denial, and Chill
gets Pumpkin.
Marty cleans
losing
them up.
3 there. I mean, if you're Bulldozer, you're perfectly happy there that a single soldier was able to just get Pumpkin there. So now they're going to be able to have that ad push into mid with. That being said, a lot of Mog 70 lived, so they're going to be peeking too here, even without their heals. And yeah, they have a hold established for sure. Fly bombing in. That's a air shot. This is going to be hard to get into too. It looks like, yeah, they're just opting to play last year. This is still full ad. Would be a massive wasted opportunity if they let things even out here. So they will want to get on 2 with this ad.
I'm thinking back to that mid and that bomb from Chill. He's always bombing from the shed above, or the roof above catwalk. That's really down on a scout not being on high ground. And you know, once SOK gets a demo pick, you need to walk forward, but you need a scout to just stay behind and look at the high ground as your team walks across, because your med's gonna be walking across point. he'll have a
Oh
restricted view of
no.
the skybox, and you know.
And Bulldozer is choosing to play this as evens. This was full, like as full of ad as you can get. They had all their, well, they were down a soldier. That soldier was going to spawn when the other team's medic was at 10%. They're still only at 70% now. So definitely, if they can't handle the sacks and don't get off last and lose around here, it's going to be hard not to think about that moment they had full ad and didn't really do anything with it.
It really comes down to how medics are counting the Ubers, but that may have been a main caller issue too. I'm not sure if they were. Oh, but actually Marty's in. Marty's in. He gets bounced into the sentry actually by the level 3, but he gets trapped in the corner.
That was scary. You got a nice rocket off. Yeah, I think it's more so. Obviously, there's some counting going on. You maybe assume that their med was healing more than they actually were. But at the end of the day, like, you lose that soldier trying to push out and you just call it off without realizing you have so much time in the world to just reset and make it happen again.
I'm thinking now with no counter-attack coming up from Bulldozer, that was actually a plan by them to actually run down the timer here. Now, it's a boring way of playing TF2, but they're up around. Maybe they think they have a better chance if they just win on the mid instead of pushing out a blast.
Yeah, we'll see. Snakewater mid, very high.
Soldier's dead.
High risk, high reward. Snakewater mid's a mid of consequence. It's very easy to lose your med. It's very rare that your soldiers even live. So playing for round resets on Snakewater is definitely a gamble. We are seeing some sniper v sniper here. Marty Banana and Sheep both on the sniper class. Looks like they haven't really spotted each other yet, but obviously both teams know. And Sheep actually switching off to Spy. I guess just looks like he's just checking classes.
Marty's gonna peek in from top left momentarily, but the pipes from Loki will force him back. He's gonna charge up his shot.
He's gonna get a shot on demo, maybe.
Potentially. Loki's flirting with the idea of peeking, but he's just pushing off the sniper.
Soldier's in through right.
Oh, he's caught in. Gets body shot and
just dies.
Dunked onto the
Ooh, that was very scary actually for Loki. I don't know if he had enough health to tank a body shot there after that rocket.
He had 200, so he should have been fine.
Okay.
Now, provided that's with Trance being in there, though, he would have gotten hit by a spam rocket too to add to that.
So now, Bulldozer, they know that Marty is on sniper. They are choosing to play their own sniper.
Oh! Sheep
just
had
like
the sniper be sniper, but Sheep got headshot first by Marty, but he had the overheal off of the 150. Wow. This is going to be a very slow round, and we're heading down to the minute and 30 mark. So now, maybe, you know what? You remember the times where people would take an exchange in the last and then they would bring in the heavy post-uber? That's what I'm thinking is the play here.
Definitely, yeah. With this amount of time, that would definitely be the play to go for. Because, I mean, it looks like they should already be going for this exchange. They might send another sack. Actually, Slick going down quite low. It looks like they want to send another sack or something. It's quite slow, though. They haven't even sent it yet. Marty Banana's about to go in. Just traps on the door. He gets rolled. Dies. Looks like Trance, no, not committing. Actually, Pumpkin taking a lot of spam.
What's making me so confused is they're not pressuring up the soldier that's holding towards lower for Bulldozer. Mog 70 haven't even attempted to go for a double soldier spam into the sentry and then work something off fast, maybe a double stacker at that. It's very easy to pressure off as long as you have two soldiers fully buffed at 300 and then going to fight off the soldier lower, but they're choosing not to. Now they're going to go for the low percentage play of an exchange with 30 seconds.
Yeah, and if you thought the 30-second exchange was a little too late, how about like a 20-second, maybe 15-second exchange? They might use in so late that Ubers aren't even over by the time we're reaching like overtime territory.
Oh, but Fly's caught in! Fly's caught in! And that means both of us will be down here in the
They use quite early though, and there's just so much Uber left
wait, there's
over
3 players
for blue
down
here.
And because we're in the round timer, it doesn't
with
matter
overtime,
if it's
it might. They do have a demo. Demo's doing demo things, actually.
Oh!
Oh my god, Pumpkin.
Yeah,
that was looking like so horrible for Red. They used into the gun, didn't get a counter pop for the longest, but then instead of just, playing back, playing their lives, playing for the time, a lot of players on Bulldozer just got caught, and the Uber couldn't save enough. So even though we saw Loki with like very clutch play on last, there just were too many players left over, and nice clutch from Pumpkin.
Lion Show just had a huge misplay. They had to stay alive for the post exchange, but they chose to stay forward and they got punished for it. So now Mach 70 tie it up. Slick is working across point. Bombing from Marty on the demo.
In. Double bomb in on the demo. And Trance getting a nice rocket. He's going to get Francis. Pumpkin did go down in the chaos, but this midpoint should go to Mach 70. Actually, Sheep fighting 2v1 almost gets available, but not quite.
And Snow might be caught in too. Might find this guy here on Sailors who is focused on chill, but it's not going to... Wait, nice. Pumpkin died in the midst of that. How?
Yeah, Pumpkin died around the same time as Francis. Same spawn wave. Francis might... No, they both have players with them, so going to be completely dead even here on Bulldozer's second.
I mean, at least Mach 70 win this point with killing Francis. But with the soldier caught in, it's... Why?
Interesting.
He trades still with Trance against 4 players. How did that make based on the barrel of Mach 70 players?
Oh, Slick just peeking aggro. We see Available kind of peeking in as well. It looks like both teams just kind of want to dry into each other. So
they're gonna be lower.
Loki just dropping out a window right into the enemy team, who's just completely drying in. No Ubers on the table yet, so Bulldozer's just gonna have to probably leave here.
And Chill's caught in cheese. He's trapped up by the Demo Sicky's lobby. Now the pipes are coming in. He somehow skips jump out through Shutter.
Still down Demo though for a few seconds here. We're seeing some pressure here into last.
And Francis
91% on the med. They still don't have Ubers yet. This is very risky without Ubers. They finally get... We see a force from Blue.
Oh, and
actually,
Pumpkin
Red's already out.
He kited it out. And now Mach 70, they can recommit with full heals. They might catch in fly too. And they can catch the combo in lobby
Pumpkin
too.
does use... We're seeing Available in... There's a gun watching lower. That's not of concern.
But this soldier's going to be caught out. Chill's caught out. No soldiers to spam out. It's only Loki up. And they're going to rotate the Shutter because they know the Demo's not going to be able to spam it.
There is still a level 3 gun, though. That's going to buy a lot of time here for Blue. Although the NG kind of just leaves it, doesn't tank it, so that goes down instantly. Available does die, but still no soldiers for Blue. Nice bomb from Trance, just picking up 2 picks.
But so much damage done yet.
He's still getting rocket stuff.
It's just a 2v2 on last, but now Chill's going to be respawning. It's up to him, but it's not enough.
Very chaotic kind of last push there. I thought for sure getting forced onto seemed to dash the last push ambitions of Mach 70, but they said, no, we'll just dry in. We have 2 soldier picks and almost got the point off of it.
They saw the heals were in lobby, though. They should have just committed with the Uber, and then they just got forced in an uneventful situation. It's a very weird change.
You definitely don't want to trade there because you don't want to like neutralize that advantage. You want to push last with that ad. But there's a certain point at which you say, okay, their Uber's been going on long enough. We can just have a miraculous post. So why not just use here, waste our first few Ubers? That doesn't matter, actually. We're just seeing it dry in.
2 pipes! I mean, the Sticky Trap kills 2. Trance gets traded by the Sticky Trap, and now no soldiers, and Pumpkin's dead! Sheep flanking in from Saul with the help of Chill from Catwalk. They wipe the entire combo, and it's just up to Marty in a second.
Slick is definitely caught here. Just will try and jump out. Actually, barely living. Yeah, that's on me. I was talking about something completely unimportant as Mach 70 just dried in and wiped.
Oh no, Marty caught with the skill stick out, and then he goes down on the flank. He shot a preemptive rocket that basically blew his cover.
So now this is a completely full ad for Bulldozer. They are worried about those forwards, but 2, absolutely no resistance. Maybe a couple traps to worry about, but that's it. So Bulldozer just wants to set up for a nice last push here. Looks like they're doing just that.
Oh, they see Slick is caught out. They see Slick is
taking this peeking top left. They're taking it in top left. They use into this Demo, who's already in spawn, so we're seeing a gun right side. Gonna take some time to go down. And actually, Loki dies. Francis got like super surfed, couldn't flash anyone, and Loki just dying to the gun.
And Fly's caught in here towards lower, gets hit down to 82 HP, and will get cleaned up by Trance. So the flank is down now, and even Chill is caught in. Trance saved by his scout. That's 4 down. It's just Sheep running out this mid with his medic Francis. It was, oh no, they could have kited out the Uber. Or
yeah, kind of a nightmare. There is a reason that teams don't usually use in top left unless the other team is holding that close. And we kind of saw just that, you know, you don't really buy good space. Isn't always great. So we see Mog 70 just taking it in through
On the
Kitchen.
medic! Gets the force.
Yeah, it does get the force. Kitchen usually a place that you just use through, so no harm, no foul. Probably just going to play the flip-flop mid here. They are drying into 2 off their soldier pick. That being said, yeah, just a snipe on the pumpkin. So now, no holds barred. We're just seeing a complete sellout. Does get the force on Francis, who just barely got Uber in time.
What?
And it's just available behind. Probably will get spotted by a spawner. Actually, no, he's smart about it. Hiding. He'll probably go for a back hat play. Yeah, they can just stack and deny. We actually see Fly going back to stop it as well, so not a play that's going to work out. But Available still living behind. We'll see if they can get anything done. Fly very concerned. Will thought he went Kitchen, gonna lose a 1v1. But still, no back cap ambitions. They're just running it forward.
They're actually going to go all in because they know that Bulldozer doesn't have Uber yet, but they're getting locked out by Loki. So much good aerial denial. And now, Available's caught in the back lines. Francis is going to come up on his Uber, and, I mean, they can't even get out Mog 70. They're just going to take a seat for last.
Okay, Available finally getting out. Will be in front now. This is still disad, though, so we're going to see...
They have 3 minutes.
Well... Looks like they want to walk lower with their heel. No, they're just playing this even.
Okay.
This is a 50 ad situation that they're just letting even out. And yeah, I understand you have a sniper, but you know, 50 ad, you can't sneeze at that.
That's probably their third time where they've let up a big advantage that was more than 30. No! Oh, Snow! Thank God it was from the medic.
Goes down.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that was the third time.
Oh, we're seeing deep peaks too from the sniper. Just kind of completely alone. Will get picked up here in lobby.
That's right now.
Fly dying in the meantime. I guess sacking.
But I mean,
we're seeing picks going for each team. Bomb in from Trance.
Oh,
will get cleaned up here.
That's very bad. The speed.
Yeah. There is an exchange. Loki is just in it. That's kind of a liability. Marty Banana trading out with a scout. Yeah, there's just not enough players here for blue. They're going to have to give up this point. Slick going down quite low. Getting tanked hard by arrows. Loki wants that pick.
Loki botches it, and he goes out and Slick with a 5k on that second push is just chill here.
We're seeing a salvage here, though.
He's on the medic. One more rocket. Oh, he just barely misses the thinnest of margins. He could have gotten the medic. My God. That was crazy. Sheep is in forwards.
Yes, does get spotted, and that just instant back spawn. Understandable. You want to set up that disad hold at last. It's not negligible. It's like 20%, but definitely, if you're building well at last, you should be able to get that Uber. Teams aren't always super quick to operate off their ad.
They're gonna need to bomb Slick here then if they're gonna get this successful.
We are seeing they want to take this as fast as they can.
They need to kill the medic with that.
They are taking a top left. They're a little slow on it. Haven't used now. There's no bomb. Blue getting Uber in time. It's Slick probably going down here. Yeah. Okay, so now you're happy with what you have if you're a Bulldozer. Just.
The sentry's down. They can technically recommit if you're Mog 70 if they just get into the right doorway that. But Trance
potentially. Even numbers there. I think you definitely want to recommit if Bulldozer like overcommits and eats a lot of damage. But if they play that conservatively, it's going to be a little tough to pull off.
It's still definitely doable. 30 seconds left. Instead of the sentry, they opt for the heavy. So I mean, it's doable, but it's gonna have to. The win condition here is an early elimination on the heavy.
And it looks like Mog 70 is not super aware that they only have 20 seconds left to make something happen, because Ubers are not. They might be on the table at the very end, but you're ideally making some dry fight action happen early. They are peaking now. They're trying to make something happen in these remaining 9 seconds.
Oh, but Snow's down very low, but the Uber comes out first.
Yeah, there's just nothing to happen here. No overtime, keep in mind, because it's not round timer, so just gonna be a 1-1 half.
The huge problem here, I think it could have been a 3-1 half for Bulldozer, quite frankly. Like, they didn't go on 3 significant Uber advantages, and that really costed them.
Admittedly, one of those was on their own last, so it's going to be hard to convert that into a round or something. But still, you
Yeah,
definitely want to be playing off of your advantages. Especially like I understand letting like 20 ad even out if you have a sniper or if you're down a player or something of that nature. But we're talking 50. We're talking full ad.
right.
Um, those are definitely things that you want to operate off of. Actually, I should not have drank a full glass of water because I'm going to have to run to the bathroom real quick during this halftime.
So
So
with
I'll
that
be
being
right
said,
back.
I'll take over the halftime talk now. Like Wild Rumper said, a few huge Uber disadvantages didn't go in didn't go the favor of Bulldozer. Like Mog 70 were able to get away scot free with significant Uber disadvantages, but a huge talking point of the half, Mister Chill, the ringer for the side of Bulldozer. Three I think about two times as they were pushing in the second for Mach 70. Now, I wasn't on the cam, but Shell coming in clutch. One of them being a 3K under the pressure from Catwalk from the pushing in Mach 70 players. They aggressed into his village, and the gatekeeper held strong. Shell getting 3 headshots in that second push from Catwalk. Shot from afar like a marksman he is. But the thing is that once you have a power player like Shell getting those shots, he even got a shot charge onto Pumpkin in another scenario that I can remember from, and then Fly getting a few picks, but Shell also getting a lot of picks onto Pumpkin on mids. It really comes down to the fact that Mog 70 weren't aware of, spotting out or scoping around the area on second, and then because of their mistake, Bulldozer could have probably punished them a lot more. But really, the advantage conversions from Bulldozer, they just weren't capitalizing on any advantages they had. Maybe aside from that first round, where granted it was a very, very interesting first round to win, where they pretty much just, how would I say this? They pretty much just wiped the floor clean on their first round, but after that, they kind of just struggled to get any mileage aside from that. Well, on that last push that Mach 70 had converted, they definitely could have held it, but they chose to get too overzealous and too aggressive in a last six scenario, and that comes down maybe to the config where, also by the way, no logs available. That comes down to the fact that maybe they thought that because Mach 70 were pushing in with 15 seconds left, the round timer would have just expired, and then once it hits zero, you go straight into the next minute. But it's not the same as like that the half timer. The half timer is 30 minutes. Once it goes to zero, that's it. But a round timer, if they at least sit on the cap, and there is some cap time for Mach 70, you can still keep the round going even after the round timer itself hits zero. So the difference between zero and on the round timer and zero and the half timer is that the round timer can still continue on in overtime, whereas with the half timer, 30 minutes is exactly 30 minutes. After those 30 minutes are up, you're screwed. And I think Bulldozer got too aggressive thinking they could just feed. Granted that the time would have surely gone down to zero as Mach 70 were pushing until last 15 seconds left. Ubers would have came out. The Uber would have taken at least 8 to 9 seconds of that 15-second push. And then, it would have hit zero, round over. But they may have gotten screwed over by that scenario. So now it's a tied halftime. We could have been 1-0. We could have been 2-0. But Bulldozer, you know. Well, remember, I was just discussing it how Bulldozer, they kind of beat that last push in a sense. Or that 15-second round timer last push from Mach 70. And I think, maybe they just didn't understand that the round timer versus the half timer isn't absolute at zero. They're still over time.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, even like ignoring timers and all that. I mean, the way you want to take those fights, regardless, if they just use through looking for an exchange on even Ubers, you just don't want to lose players whatsoever. Like, you don't have to worry about like the point necessarily, at least not immediately. You can just play your life. Know that the Uber, your own Uber, is just going to buy a ton of time and space. It's going to be better because you're using later. And
Right.
you just have a lot of breathing room to work with. So definitely your primary objective there, if you're holding that door or whatever, is just, stay alive. There's gonna be a post fight, and it should be better for you as long as you have those picks to work with. Excuse me. What else?
I think the mids is gonna. We're gonna need to see a huge adjustment for Mog 70. They need to keep a scout on high ground because whenever they played a passive mid, it just never worked out. But the two times where they had an advantage or played an aggressive mid, one of them was like getting the kill on the demo. The other one was just Marty trans bombing, killing both of them on the medic. They never had a scout on high ground passive. So.
I've noticed Mog 70, they've been like double bombing the demo, which is like fine. Like if you're a bulldozer, you can be happy with that. But there were times where they would double bomb the demo, and yet somehow a soldier would live long enough to get enough rockets on Francis to kill Francis too, and that's just stuff like that shouldn't happen. Anyway, they have readied up. We are rolling out to the first mid here. We'll see what kind of mid these teams choose to play. We've seen both early aggression and some passivity. It's like Winter actually. Oh, Winter back in the game. Getting quite aggressive on point early. Seeing some early height control. Double bombs come in from Mog 70. Does not get anything. Gets Snow. Fly dies in the meantime in the counter bomb as well as Chill.
And Loki's caught in here. Available going to clean up with the help of his scout from Salas. So that's
Snow,
a very.
Sheep
That's a
and Francis
very.
leave.
I think that's their cleanest mid so far from Mog 70. They kept their medic alive for the first time, I believe, in a mid.
Yeah, it was looking good for Bulldozer in that Mog 70's soldier bombs just didn't get anything. But the counter aggression also didn't get anything, so it just ended up being, you know, a bunch of picks in Mog 70's favor. We are even Ubers here on last, though. Sacking and things of that nature has been a bit of a weakness for both teams. Maybe that's just part of the division, because it takes a lot of coordination to pull off sacks, especially in a map like Snakewater. But we'll see what kind of things they try and pull out.
So
What kind of tricks they have up their sleeves.
And here's the current setup. One soldier towards drop, another towards lower. Demo and scout holding top right, sentry in the middle on grass. If you're Mach 70, you're going to take two soldiers here, buff them to 300 with the help of Pumpkin, and shoot them essentially together. And that's what they're doing just now, but they need to pressure up Chill first. And Chance is caught in, so he's going to go down.
Unfortunate. That is the right idea. I think that's the first time we've seen
it was the first time, really.
The soldier spam down the gun before anything happens. So what I'd like to see here, I'd like to see Trance probably stay on soldier here. Okay, nice. And just do that, but right this time.
They need Winter maybe to come down. I mean, Winter has to hold top left, but your scouts can easily spot that. So maybe Winter should come down and help pressure off that soldier. Then once they pressure off Chill, they can then fin sentry.
If they just trade out that spam well enough, yeah, they can just spam out the soldier well enough, hopefully to buy some time to operate with. That being said, it is still like a hard thing to do, is spam out that gun, but something that teams will do because it can work. We do see Sheep on Sniper here, just playing quite passively, holding back right. Trance actually going down, I think, to the gun. Oh, and Winter dying. Shutter. Winter just kind of alone there, gets cleaned up by a single soldier. And now it's going to be kind of a tall order to hold to here. We're seeing Sheep get it quite aggressive. Oh, it seems to be kind of lagging, stuttering a bit. Gets a nice angle peek here.
Oh, the medic went into a sightline, but he focused on the scout instead. Oh, the margin of timing there.
Honestly, probably another bit of a missed opportunity there from Bulldozer. They had a demo and a soldier pick, so there's very little spam to deny a fight into two. But they do have that sniper, so they want to play a little bit more safe, a little bit more conservative, and chose to just get some better peaks on the sniper with that advantage. We are seeing Marty Banana trying to sack in, gets body shot and then dead on. And a single soldier sack like that, to me, seems like an off-class sack. We are seeing, we're seeing a scout run back to spawn. So it looks like we're gonna see
available spy for sure.
Yeah,
he's a highlight
available.
Player, so I know.
Switching off here.
Oh, available on soldier now.
Interesting.
Oh, I like this though. I like this.
So as per usual, we're seeing Bulldozer switching off of, or switching to spy, just checking that spawner. Marty Banana is sitting in spawn still as sniper.
Oh, but available went in for top up. He gets the demo too, but they lost two.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. And Marty's gonna go to scout. So I think they're making a... Wait! They're taking an exchange here, I think.
Yeah, they're just getting in. Good spam on the med. Might be able to get a favorable trade here.
Oh, Trans is going for the force. This is
Trans,
ideal.
yeah, just going for a sack. Nice serve from Francis. Will be able to live here. And we're seeing Marty Bananas just kind of in completely alone. Will get cleaned up. But maybe trades out. No, it does live a while though.
Winter does
that was
counter sacker too.
Very strange because they played Marty spawned sniper, I guess, to fake them out maybe and think that they had a sniper, but instead of switching off, he just kind of stood AFK and spawned for a while. It was.
But they're committing to the class
I'm not sure I
change.
understand.
They're committing to the class change.
Yeah, so we are seeing Marty Banana on Scout now, available on Soldier. Looks like they're gonna go for. Both soldiers are postured lower. They might want to try and spam out guns.
Sure, and he forced the medic into exchange. That's such a huge heads-up play. And now this Uber exchange is so bad that Bulldozer, they can pop in later, and they can catch all these players that are caught in the Uber. Salus is caught in. Pumpkin's caught in too.
Pumpkin goes down. A collective, like... Yeah, there were 4 players that were double-digit HP there from Monk 70. And, well, we've seen... Bulldozer learned to have a better exchange there. All the players just chose to live, and you know they got they reaped the benefits. They are choosing to just time things out here. 10 seconds left on the clock. There's still people rolling out from Mach 70. They're not gonna be able to get much done here, most likely. Yeah, we're seeing all the spam classes set up on their doors. And we're going to see another mid-fight here.
That was their best chance, Mog 70. I think Trance, when he bombed into that medic there, he didn't have enough rockets reloaded. He was too focused on fighting off the soldier. Once he forced him back, if he had taken his time to load up more rockets, I think he gets a drop there on the Francis. But Francis had a nice serve too. But that was so close. Kind of like a heat in the moment thing where you think back about it later and then you're just like, damn, if I had just done this, it could have changed the tide of the game.
We are seeing another mid here. Just some early height control from Bulldozer. Actually getting a lot done. Not really getting denied. They do get bombed. Fly bombing in.
Oh, and Chill bombing with the follow-up kills Pumpkin.
So we are seeing both soldiers trade out for a scout and a med. Definitely advantageous for a Bulldozer, but you have to worry about that chaos. The chaos is coming in. Francis hits a nice surf. Gets splash rocketed, craters down to 10 HP, but he will be living, and it's just Winter trying to do something. Actually gets a pick on Snow. Should be happy with that, and will just leave with his life. But definitely, at the end of the day, you're happy if you're a Bulldozer here.
I think Pumpkin, I mean, they've been focusing all their bombs onto the medic. Maybe Pumpkin just delays his entry into mid. It's not like his team has been dying instantly in the mids. It's really only been him that's dying in the mids. So
yeah, and when soldier bombs are a problem as well, you can roll out and play your beam on catwalk. We are seeing Trance hiding above here, hiding above lower. Doesn't get checked.
Hasn't seen him. Oh, they
will get something done. It's able to get in on the med. Gets spotted. Maybe too late. Yeah, Francis does force.
That's a
although
play, though.
There are 2 consolation picks. Mach 70 is building, but they are at 80%, don't have Uber yet. Okay, Bulldozer choosing to just play this more conservatively. That was an opportunity if they were fast to work off those 2 picks, but that's definitely one that you can understand them just wanting to play things normal, try and set up some sort of defense on 2 and get some force.
No went in despite them being at full Uber distance. So are they trying to play for potential back cap? This looks like anybody's in position. Instead, Winter's going to bomb it.
They just use through.
And Fly is
looks like they won't be getting any picks. There is a flank fight happening between Marty Banana and Fly. Looks like no one's dying here, so now it's just going to be, what, 60, 70 ad for Blue here. And probably just a 2 flip-flop. Although, Mach 70 just trying to fight this.
He needs to kill Francis immediately. He's coming up on 100%.
Yeah, he's going to get, and it's a complete nightmare for Mach 70. Pumpkin's going to be completely caught. Both soldiers are extremely weak. Trance actually, post-Uber, gets to kill Francis.
How was he behind for so long and he stayed alive at 30 HP? He drops Francis.
Yeah.
Sheep ran amok, went tunnel visioned ahead of the Uber, and...
Okay, that being said, there's still so many picks. if Blue was in last right now, if they just sent a scout to cap,
the
then
respawns
this
are
still
in.
could have been a round. But yeah, they are a little slow on it. They are still chaosing on last.
Oh, but
Pumpkin
Fly
does
went
get
in
cleaned
with the
up.
late
Nice
bomb.
bomb from Fly, yeah. So it's going to be some ad to work off of here. Probably close to 30 or so. But Bulldozer will be giving up 2 for it.
I think Bulldozer or Monk 70, when they went into from second to mid there, they were trying to kill the medic before he got Uber, but obviously didn't work out. Chill here on Sniper, PK
Yeah.
from Kitchen. Might see a
So
soldier
we are
here.
seeing. I'm scared for Bulldozer here because with this sniper, they had 40 ad, which turned out to be 50 ad. They only know it's 40, and I think this sniper might
Delay the push.
disincentivize them from doing something. This is enough ad that you want to play it and get 2
But that
here.
pick on the Marty
Looks
will
like they
keep them
are. They are trying to get through here.
And Trace is caught in. Everybody's out into bridge, so this
Okay.
could actually roll into a last push. It's still 50 ad.
Mm-hmm. And that is exactly what they should do. That is exactly what they're going to do. They're walking lower, straight through lower.
They need to wait for
Demo,
demo first.
a little slow, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but the
Still
trap
plenty
kills 2 in lobby.
Ooh, that's going to make this very difficult. Although, Winter does go down.
And they're playing point
Consolation pick.
immediately.
Good cap time. Pumpkin going down. Things are looking good for Bulldozer here.
But
Health is just kind of bad all around, though.
Francis
And
makes
yeah,
it
it's
out
just
alive,
Francis. We'll get chased down.
Oh, and he hits
Oh,
arrow
nice
in the
bow.
face.
Yeah, that bow probably saved his life.
If Marty over chases here and feeds, this is bad. No, he's caught it towards lower. Looking the other way, goes down, and that can signal the recommit from Mog 7.
Yeah.
Or Bulldozer.
There's no heals on 2. These players are vulnerable. Fly kind of alone. Okay, Snow's here to help.
Francis
Getting some good damage.
No!
Getting picks, actually.
What are Mog 70 doing? They're just dying one by one, and now a snowball effect occurs. Where
Yeah,
Bulldozer
they're
can
just
roll
trying to
class.
dry into last here. No spam whatsoever. There's going to be a sniper and there's going to be a heavy, but point pressure finally coming in after 2 gets capped, and there's just so many players on the point, so much spam. It's not stoppable.
What were Mog 70 thinking? Were they trying to overchase the medic? Marty with overextends towards lower? Dies, and then Trance and Sagless overcommitted? Caught in towards Salt? I'm not too sure what the game plan was there, but they knew the medic respawned faster on Bulldozer.
Yeah, and we mentioned before, like, you know, you'll see rounds off of second wipes on Snakewater, and that was no different. You have to realize your heals aren't there. You have to realize that their spawners are, and just get out. Either way, we have a mid here.
And Fly's already
Still-
deep onto the medic. He gets
Yeah,
a shot onto
hits
the
a
medic.
nice rocket
So
on
much
the
damage.
scout.
And Chill follows up, kills the medic, gets the demo. Everybody's
Francis
dead.
fully committing a cross point on the other team's side. Just up to available, taking a 1v1 with 5 HP. Sheep, rather. Turns into a 2v1, and that's a full wipe. So I think the thing that Bulldozer's been doing on mids that Mog 70 doesn't have an answer for is they're just playing very aggressive top left, playing that high ground very well, and Winter is just not doing a good job of denying that height. So they get a nice soldier bomb off, they get a lot of space, and it's just a hard question to answer for Mog 70.
But you see where Pumpkin's serving towards. He's always serving towards the wall on the grass area, towards those crates, that barrel, and then he just dies and gets stuck in the corner. So only so much you can do as a demo there. But they're gonna go in with the Uber here, leading on Loki. They're gonna walk, see the sentry behind the crate. That isn't gonna deny anything. So goes down immediately. Sheep is on the demo, should be able to kill. But they have so much
decent
ground on
space.
point.
Uber's over. Decent cap time. Demo dying there is and
And
just
Snow
like
just on
that is
point.
around.
They actually took
Not-
the Uber to give Snow the space to play point, and they just weren't reacting fast enough on Mont 70. They all kited towards truck. Nobody got forward ground. No soldiers did either.
Yeah, totally viable to just get that space, force them into spawn, and then play cap off that. But it's not every day that you see a round one with almost every defending player still alive.
Mont 70
So
are gonna
now
change
it's
it up.
3-1 in favor of Bulldozer, correct?
Correct. We could be heading to a
We're
third
seeing that top left pressure again. They're just owning height completely. Both soldiers up top. They're bombing in. Pumpkin dying again on his own shed. Available dying as well.
But Marty with
nice
the flank
salvage
from
from
Kitchen,
Marty.
and he could land on the medic here, but his teammates cleaned him up, and he comes in for the sandwich with Winter. They get 4, and that's Mog 70 salvaging the mid.
That was a nice play from Marty. Without him, there wouldn't have been that salvage. I don't know. Did he go other team's kitchen behind or something?
He
I was
jumped
not
into he
paying
jumped into their
attention.
kitchen in the mid, and then he jumped.
Okay,
He recommitted.
makes sense. So yeah, it's gonna be mid, firmly in the hands of Mog 70, and actually, their med dying sooner turned out to be a blessing here because they have
They need to be building.
20
They need to be building.
20-ish ad to work off of, and with a sentry gun on last, we're seeing a soldier on last as well. Let's see if Mog 70 recognizes. Yeah, there's actually very little defense anyway.
Oh, if they were
Realizing it or
building-
not, 2 just turned out to be free.
Well, I mean, I guess building is negligible. They still have about a 25 ad, but now that there's gonna have to be a dash to kill Francis. He's public enemy number 1, but Francis isn't building as well either. So now let's build up to 30% ad for Mach 70.
And it looks like they might know. They're taking positioning here as though they want to take an Uber. They're quite slow though. It's already 80% on Francis. And yeah, it looks like they're not interested in taking
Must have
this.
been
They just
fake
want to play
Uber
this
ad.
even.
They just Francis and Pumpkin just weren't building well, but Pumpkin just built better, I guess.
I think Pumpkin had a faster spawn. It's completely 100% understandable to not take Uber there because you are operating on very thin margins, and you know a lot of things have to go well. You need to be a well-oiled machine to make stuff like that work. So you know, both teams dying at mid, or both meds dying at mid. You know, you can just call it even.
Chill was gonna go for an opportune play there, but everybody had left at the last second. They all left the party.
We are seeing, yeah, Marty Banana spy. We saw Sheep doing the Sheep thing of, yeah.
Too.
Sheep has been checking every single death on their own last, so this spy, no surprise.
Oh, Chill's on the
Oh, and actually just gets spotted, yeah. So now they double know that there's a spy, and maybe the surprising thing here is actually
they know.
Sheep. Oh, I was gonna say I'm a little surprised Sheep went sniper instead of the anti-spy pyro we were seeing earlier, but no, the sniper counters the spy. It turns out. It says don't wear cosmetics in chat.
Well, he's gonna
probably alluding to the spy checking fact, and Marty Banana just running it right back.
And they already know.
Sheep running it right back, so they know again. Little note, if a spy does not wear cosmetics, because the typical way you spy check is by, yeah, it just instantly gets checked again. Wasting a lot of time here on these spy plays that just aren't really working out very well. But yeah, normally you check the spy, you disguise as them, and you look at your little
I think they're gonna
3D
go for
model.
Spy? Oh no, available switching the soldier.
Yeah. So you can bypass the little 3D model with without wearing any cosmetics as your spy, but if you repeat disguise, little trick for you spy checkers out there, if it's the same name repeated multiple times, then you know, even if there's no cosmetics to operate off of.
That is true. And Shell might catch up Trans here, but Trans making it out, jumps out of danger, and available now on Soldier. I mean, this guy has played Soldier before, back in May, I believe, so very plausible that he is now playing the role. But Marty Banana has kind of been like a lackluster factor for his team. They're going to go for the Soldier spam on the sentry, but they just aren't buffed. They're peaking with 200 HP, no 300 buff. They're going to get immediately logged on by Chill, and Chill even bounces available and Trans into the death.
Both soldiers going down. This is definitely going to be an opportunity for Bulldozer to potentially work something here. They do have a sniper, so they'll probably just work a deep sniper angle. Actually, yeah, they're just playing their clock, not really doing much. Yeah, these spy plays are just absolutely not working for Mog 70. Sheep has been very disciplined about checking those off classes on every little death, so you have to be a little tricky about that, and even doing this late check as well.
I like it. I like it so much.
Yeah.
They're just aware. They know they can just burn down the timer. And Mog 70, neither of these teams have gone for a spy sap and then soldier sack. With if Marty Banana is going to be successful, he might as well switch to Cloak and Dagger. He might as well take off all the cosmetics, and then he might as well just go for the sack. But instead, Trans and him, they're going to bomb onto Loki. They're going to double team him. Air shot miss. Loki defends himself. That man doesn't need any protection.
Quite low, down to 15 HP. Will live with that spawn door saving him. Yeah, I think it's not uncommon to see off classes not work. I don't want to call it a gimmick because I don't think it is, but you can't rely on them.
Right.
You need to have some very solid sack setups if you want to be able to be successful, because they can just know you're off classing and it's less effective. We are seeing the exchange come in. 30 seconds, not a lot of time to work on. Exchange comes out, they're rotating doors. Fly getting some good spam in, getting spammed off a little bit.
Oh, but Fly's caught in.
10 seconds left. They're still not refighting. Just getting in now. Fly does die, so they have a pick to work with. Actually, 2 picks to work with. Both soldiers going down. This is looking good for Mog 70.
No,
oh
the recommit!
They're just getting so many picks.
Recommit. And Fly, once again, the first round to fall. He's overcommitted. He goes down, and the dominoes fall one by one from there. How does that happen again? They're caught in. They overstay their welcome on Bulldozer on the forward positions. It just can't happen like that. You can't give up a round like that.
Like, you want to hold the door and not let them in, but if an entire team is dedicated to flooding, then there's not much a single soldier can do. And if you just play your life, play that spawn, get that resup, then you have a full HP bomb for that point, and you're gonna get picks instead of
with the hype I'm onto.
Yeah, Francis very early aggressive here. Francis going down instantly.
And Marty
Winter getting a ton of damage across point.
That was such a good bomb. Finally,
so we're gonna see some salvage here from Sheep. Actually gets spotted and will just back out.
Get Winter.
Ooh, nice fight from Winter, saving themselves.
And Salus is on the hot tail of second here. He might catch up Fly. They get out. Finally, the double bomb aggressive mid. They have a scout sitting on Pumpkin's shoulders, and they keep him alive. They have full Uber at wild outfits.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to take it top left. Probably not the best door to take it through. A little scary. Left is completely empty too. Okay, they're choosing to dry through. This is actually a good thing to go for. They are just crossing into them with this Uber. They're getting a ton of space. Francis should be caught here. Will go down. Now it's just a matter of post-Uber positioning. Not super great. They're going to, just be losing a ton of picks. Just Winter and Pumpkin with a collective 15 HP between both of them.
How did they
just barely
Where was the
out.
post collapse in that Uber? Where were the soldiers coming in late on that Uber? Were they initiating first?
Things were looking good at first. They were able to dry in left. They identified that right-sided positioning and just used into that. But
my question is, like, everybody was clumped up on Bulldozer towards right spawn. Was there no? I guess Fly was holding drop really well.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind too, like, when your Uber's ending, like, where you're going to be standing during that, because there were a lot of people just caught kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, they ended towards the right.
Yeah, we are seeing actually. They're trying to dry in again. 70% Uber they don't have yet. Winter catching a pipe, gonna go down. Okay, they trade out. Yeah, they traded out demos. It was okay, but Pumpkin dies as well. And it might just be a full wipe here. Available, bombing in, trying to salvage. There's a heavy, not much to do.
What was the rationale there? They killed Francis early. Pumpkin had made it out, had buffed Winter. Then they recommitted with 70 ad?
Yeah, I don't agree with that either, because they had ad as well. Like, they could have just waited, not even 10 seconds, get that Uber and make something happen. They are playing Marty Banana Spy, and this is the one Marty Banana Spy that hasn't been spy checked.
Oh, and he's just kind of position too. Is he
might just get just tries to stab the scout. Isn't spotted, so still okay. Might be a blessing missing that scout, because now he has a chance at the med. Does get spotted, gets a stab off, gets the force. Francis may be worried about some type of trick stab shenanigans. You never really know with a spy. Although these aggressive bombs, Bats is just kind of a nightmare. Just up to Trance here. Sale is actually kind of committing his life. Will go down, and now it's only 2 up for Mog 70. This is going to be very difficult to contest.
Marty needs to get on heavy, but I like Available. He's taking a forward position with these heals.
And Snow's just through lower. There's going to be cap time. There is a bomb on point. Snow will doesn't go down, actually. That's just a round. And now it's 4-2. Match point for Bulldozer.
To save his soldier, but they had already lost all ground on second.
Yeah, you just need to know when to... Oh, and wrong config, actually. They're going to be... a little illegal halftime here. Yeah, I think, again, on Snakewater, you always have to be worried about wiping on your 2, because you will lose the round. and there's a certain point where you really have to just cut your losses, because sending more people at the problem doesn't always help the problem. Sometimes it just makes it worse.
I'm
Oh, actually,
wait, they're
is this
changing the level.
interesting?
Okay, so Snakewater must have started off 1-0 for another team. So I guess we
Hmm.
can say the map finished 5-2 for. Wait, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see what the new map loads.
they're going into Bagel.
Okay, well the next map is supposed to be Sunshine, so
Interesting.
let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Well, never mind that. We're not too sure. We can't give out the points just yet. We don't know what the finalization of this game is. So it ended on the wrong config, but I'm not too sure if if prior to this match the server had crashed after Bulldozer had won a round on the second map, which would mean that Bulldozer had won the map 5-2, or if they just had if they still had the first half config, and really they should be
Yeah.
playing out the rest of this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will find out. And I'm seeing some confusion about, yeah, right, what I was saying with the spy disguises. The go-to strategy to know for sure if there's an off class without like seeing it with your own two eyes is you get your own spy to disguise as that class. And some configs will have like the 3D player model in the corner where you can see their hats or you can see their weapon names, for instance. But if they are using full stock, then that doesn't really work. It'll look like a generic disguise. So the way to tell then is you repeat disguise, and if you get the same name multiple times, then you know that player is on that class. Just the thing people will do to check for those off classes, because knowing an off class makes it much less effective.
Yeah, actually, I think the only way to really know is that a lot of players at the higher level, like I know for a fact when I would off class, I would only the only thing I would really keep away from stock for spy is just maybe go for the cloak and dagger in some scenarios, but I don't know if you can actually I don't think you can actually spy check for what watch the spy is using, right?
No, you can't. You can only see the name of a item that they have in their hands, and there's no way to really. The watch is on the wrist. You can't like hold it, I guess.
Right, I think you can tell if they're using an ambassador or Latrange, so
Yeah. So Latrange can give you away more quickly. They don't have to redisguise, but ultimately, if they do get on that spy and they know to redisguise, then there's no hiding from that.
So next map should be Sunshine. Not sure why we're chilling on Bagel, but
And
okay,
we are seeing.
I'm reading according to the chat that config was wrong, but they're gonna go ahead with the map up. So we're heading onto a third map.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go settle out the predictions here. Bulldozer experience winning it out 4-2 on Snakewater, and we're heading onto the final map, which I don't think is Bagel. Let me check the match page again because the map page says Sunshine, but we are currently on Bagel, which is not correct. Okay, no. So the RGL admins got it wrong. Last map on the page says Sunshine, but the last map is Bagel.
Oh. Okay.
Bit of a miscommunication, but that's okay. That's okay. We are on map 3, which
Nice.
this is gonna be interesting because Bulldozer, when I watched them on this, they took a lot of aggro changes and they got punished for it. Now this is like a newly reformed Bulldozer where they have a roamer now in Chill who may have had a few questionable off-class timing decisions, but overall, him and Fly have had so much impact in the game. We don't have logs, by the way, so we can't really verify anything from that.
I'm looking for. Oh, these are not. Yeah.
And just a heads up on the Prutech versus Image match, Prutech lost the first map 5-0 on process in a swift 31 minutes to Image. So, pretty expected. I mean, when I watched Prutech versus Wang Gang, now you had a close match against Wang Gang on process, but Prutech...
We never played.
Did you play Wang Gang on process? It was 2-1.
We played them on product.
Product, okay. Who was the team?
The 2-1 process was Bunyan. Yeah. Yeah, I think Image is definitely expected to win that game.
There were some late season pickups from Perutic that may have questioned the possibility, but it really came down to
Yeah,
the fact
no,
of
they
whether you play. If Perutic had gotten Bagel into the map pool, they would have definitely had a chance.
yeah, they definitely improved their roster towards the end with the Zayak pickup in particular. Um, so the first map was 5 CP. What do we know what the map picks were for Perutech Image?
Sunshine is their map pick.
Sunshine second.
Yes.
Interesting.
Now, what I thought was like, now Image actually banned Bagel as
Hmm.
as their first ban, which is ideal
That
because
makes sense.
Brutech obviously nearly beat Bungalow Alert on it. They also defeated the now dead team that had the fourth place team from last season with Throne, Tojo, and all that good stuff. But like, so that was an ideal map ban pick. You on Image avoid the map you were actually having trouble on against Bulk Detonator State of Mind. Like they got absolutely destroyed by Bulk Detonator on Bagel, so granted they should have banned it, and they also eliminate the Perutech's best map. And I think they're I'm surprised that Prutech didn't go for any Koth maps. They chose to pick Sunshine instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Perutech definitely more of a Koth favored team, I'd say. Um, I mean, Image still has a strong Koth, so maybe they just figured they would have better chances on Sunshine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. I can I can resonate with that. So
You're right. I wasn't paying attention to the server time left for Snakewater between these two
it
teams.
was
I
still about
guess.
halfway through, but I'm wondering what happened. I get so obviously if Mog 70 want to contest it, I think they just want it to be over with the map because to
Hmm.
me, you mentioned Rumpus in the pregame. Mog 70 had two very close matches on Snakewater, which they both lost apparently. So
Yeah, they might
granted,
just not
they
be a
looked very
Snake
lost on the
team.
map. Yeah,
I don't know. I'd still like to see, and even if I was on that team and didn't like that map, like if you have like at least like 10, 12, 15 minutes to work with, that's plenty of time to get 2 rounds, especially since the
there is playoff
like the
implications. Yeah.
yeah, and like the incorrect config means, it ended at the end of a round, which means like you're starting at mid, you're starting fresh. Definitely something to at least go for because we've seen them have like good mids and things like that. But I am not on the team. I don't know what their opinions on Snakewater or any of that is. Maybe they all have bedtimes and just want to get things moving.
Yeah, I am very, very just surprised. Also, by the way, if you haven't noticed and you're new to Fireside Cast, thank you to Dolphin and RGL for rating us. They just came off their
Oh,
Highlander invite lower bracket coverage. I believe it's Squirt Yay versus some other team. I forget. I was watching a bit earlier, but thank you, Dolphin and Co. Shout out to them. I'm just gonna say that I think having a very good scout deal on this map on Bagel
mm-hmm.
isn't as strong of an advantage as compared to clear cut our product, but I think most of it really comes down to your cohesion and holding down the houses. We watched. I know you and Octa had just casted a match yesterday or
Mm-hmm.
on Friday where both teams had a very good stance on how they wanted to hold houses, and most of the rounds were decided by which team had won the fights in houses between the soldiers. So
Yep. I might actually disagree a little bit. I think clear cut good scouts very important, and I'd say the intuitive thing is that scouts are less important on Bagel just because
was that not what
so
I
much
said?
of that important play. No, I agree with you on the clear cut for sure. But while so much of the play happens, kind of isolated in each house and then on point
Mm-hmm.
as like distinct areas, which would definitely favor, soldiers and demos, which are good on this map. Don't get me wrong. I still think scouts are like very effective and almost counterintuitively, you'd think they'd just be eating a ton of spam. It'd be very difficult, but if you have
They're
good
helping
scouts,
houses, yeah,
yeah,
providing
if you
help.
have good scouts that like know what to do, then it can be ruthless because this map is very close quarters. That scattergun's going to be doing a lot of damage, and it's easy for scouts to just get on players kind of unseen, whether they're hiding behind the point before they decide to commit, or they just blow through a house quickly. It can be a very powerful class.
So granted, that could be the case. I also would say it comes down to I think this is the map where comms are the most important because there's so much going on in the mids. Scouts
Hmm.
are both tasked with denying the demo and the other scout from the combo contesting mid on the enemy team, but they also have to be keeping tabs on what their soldiers are doing in house. Sometimes you'll see teams go for their flank pressuring the house where they should be, and then the pocket soldier just holds tight in the other house, pressuring off the others, the other team's flank, or maybe even potentially a soldier just taking a 1v1 against them. So it really comes down to the comms here, because whenever somebody's getting pressured in house, usually you don't want to leave them alone in that 1v1, but also if you go to fight that, you run the risk of one diverting your attention away from fighting point, which may cause some trouble. So you have to be able to act fast and react fast to comms in this game, in this map.
Yeah, I think in Koth in general, it's kind of paradoxical because it gets talked about as like the DM kind of game mode, and as far as game sense and like plays to go for and things like that goes, um, there is definitely complexity to it, but it is a little more straightforward than 5CP is as a game
Right.
mode. Um, that being said, though, comms and like coordination and team play are extremely important in Koth, and also, in my opinion, a little more difficult at times.
There's so much
And
going on, right?
yeah, because like in a 5CP, like it's relatively easy to, especially like in downtime when one team is at a disadvantage and trying to leave and the other team is at an advantage. It's pretty easy in situations like that to just kind of listen to your main caller and just follow that. But in Koth, where it's kind of all sorts of action all the time, being able to pick out that player watching house and know that that's happening and be able to react to that and hope that the rest of your team is reacting to that and doing what they should. And it's very complicated, very strained comms, very strained sort of team play, can be very difficult to work with. And especially on a map like Bagel, where so much important things are happening in those houses that you can't necessarily see, it can definitely be difficult.
I guess my question heading into this map really is for Mog 70, how much? Because I see now Slick is actually subbing in for somebody else. So I guess who is it?
Yeah,
Salas
I
or
saw that.
available is out? Who's out for their team?
Um, Slick is
Let's take a look.
Salus is not in the server.
I see Salas, so it's
Oh,
Marty
Salus isn't.
Banana who's subbing out.
Oh,
I know Marty. Okay, Marty Banana had just talked to me and said he moved in, so maybe his internet. He
interesting.
just got his internet today, so he may have just had issues. And Snow
Yeah, I
to
got
me said that Chill was ringing.
I got thrown off because the team switched colors.
Ooh, and I see a huge bet, guys. I now see about 20,000 channel points in Wild Rumpus. I know he has some points you want to bet, but
Holy.
we need to talk about predictions here. So, Bagel, I have a very skewed viewpoint because if you guys had watched our previous VOD of, or if you were one of the 30 viewers that watched Chill the President versus Bulldozer, or like another one of their Koch maps, I forget who it was against. I believe it's against Portal Pro Gamers. Bulldozer looked very lost in that map and highly were reliant on DM. Now, granted, this is a different scenario. We're in playoffs here. They've had time to adjust over the season. They've been able to build some synergy. Now, granted, they don't have Adwill, but that may have actually been an upgrade because Water Rumpus, I think Chill was probably their most impactful player in that game, aside
Chill
from
was
Strix.
definitely contributing a lot. I'm not sure what to make of Bagel. Because you know being very DM oriented can help you for sure. Um, I think, yeah, I'm really not sure which team is favored here. I mean, we know it's Mog 70's map pick, right? So at least in their opinion, it favors them. But I don't know. I think we could see either way. On any Koth, as far as predictions go, I always predict 4-2 because it just feels like every other Koth scoreline is 4-2. But I don't know in which direction that's going to go.
On the note of Bagel, though, while we're killing some time here, I'm gonna go predict 4-2 for Bulldozer experience. Actually, I just think that they'll have to heads up. Let's talk about main for a second here, because that's obviously yours and my best knowledge across all divisions. Who do you think is the best team in playoffs right now that can play on Bagel? For me, right now, of the teams that are left alive, I would probably say the Minions.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Minions probably strongest on Bagel. And that actually was the map pick of Bungalow, because they thought that was a very strong map for them. And it was during Bagel Week, but then they just got 4-0'd by Minions, so definitely them.
It looks like
We
we're
are
actually
seeing,
going live.
yeah, and we saw an instant pause. I don't know what that was for, but we are going here. Just seeing some early spam. Neither team really wants to do too much here.
Very aggressive on point, getting off some good damage, and they could catch out Loki here. Gets ran over by
go down.
Salas.
We're seeing a bomb in from Fly. Gets a nice rocket on a Pumpkin, who's quite low, but also quite safe, it seems.
And Available's already head on the heels here with the rest of the
Chill
combo.
might get caught. Does. So now with 3 picks to work with. They are down a soldier, so it looks like they will not be... Oh, they're going for forward traps. Winter is, at least. Hoping to just maybe stall enough for their soldier to get there in time, but this is a weakened type of forward hold. They might have to give this up down that soldier.
Oh, but Winter's on...
Fly getting through on Winter. Winter getting a scout running at them as well. We are seeing Bulldozer just busting through. Fly does crater. That's definitely not a pick you want to be down here as you're trying to get point.
Dangerously low. This could be bad here as Salas over.
Oh, Snow gets picked as well.
And Chill is onto the medic, could hit the air shot, and he gets out the Uber. Granted, Francis caught in, so he might have to pop his Uber, and they do. They're caught falling back. They're in a bad situation to walk forward in this post Uber.
Yeah, down players here, they probably just want to leave. And, you know, you get forced there as Mog 70, but you're perfectly happy just wasting
Sheep is just walking forward, and Salas walked a bit too far, the bridge too far, and he gets caught up by Sheep.
Yeah, down that scout, that's gonna flip the cap.
And even
yeah, it looks like Mog 70 just trying to hold on here. Available still in, actually. Will crater down.
Chill's chasing. Pumpkin can be caught out here. He bombs in it. What is this timing? He gets 2!
Getting a med and a demo there. That's going to be catastrophic for Mog 70 here. Now they're going to get forward held. And there's still that disad to worry about. We're actually seeing Slick on Sniper. Yeah, just tried to peek, see if there was any aggressive forward hold that they could capitalize on. Not going to stay on the class, we'll switch off. So it looks like Mog 70 trying to bust this forward hold. Just going for an instant format, it looks like. Winter bombing in. Not getting any damage on the med. Francis quite safe in house. Actually, Scout gets on him. 2 shots him. And just like that, successful 4-man. Sheep getting cleaned up. And yeah, kind of a crazy drop there.
That's huge.
Didn't see the Scout, and he hit his shots.
And they can set up the forward hold. Well, actually, Winter's on the rollout, so they should be able to get out momentarily in the side of
yeah, they are choosing not to forward here. Crazy back and forth round. Neither team holding the point super long despite having good advantages. We're seeing Fly bombing in. Looks like another 4-man. Picking up Winter. Fly does go down. Snow does go down. Looks like Pumpkin is going to be quite safe here. And
they can't cap. They shouldn't cap. They'll deny response. He gotta get out there. He might be caught in. It's available on the chase in main, but nothing.
So I think going for cap there as Sheep is weird because you're the scout that's supposed to live and you should just be building with your med. But getting cap there is not the end of the world because yes, you do deny your spawns, but they're gonna cap right back and undeny them. Either way, we're seeing some early aggression here. Fly trading out with Slick. Just exchanging span. Available actually getting quite aggressive backdoor, taking a 1v1 with Sheep.
Oh,
could go either way.
He opened the Matrix, he dodges it, and Available has an advantage. And
in the meantime, we're seeing a lot of chaos happening. Yeah, Sheep just gets forced off there in a ton of space. Pumpkin, I'm looking now, dropped during all the chaos.
I didn't even catch that. And Salas goes for the force from main, and he gets that, and he even gets Fly. He's out. He's gone away with Dying Light robbery, and Availables in the backlines could kill a soldier, and he's just gonna sandwich. He catches Francis and Loki.
All sorts of players everywhere. Okay, so I did see the Medigun. Pumpkin dropped on their side of point, like kind of behind it. So I guess there was just some chaos sack action happening that was hard to keep up with. Because at this point, like, you know those like vials of sand that are
Yeah.
different colors, and if you shake it up, like the sand just becomes a uniform color.
Yes.
That's kind of what's been happening on my screen, where all these blue and red players are their own grains of sand, and it's been so mixed in with random players and random spots that it's hard to keep up sometimes. That being said, overtime is in favor of Mog70 here. They will back out with 20 ad. Definitely playable, especially on a map like Bagel. We did see Bulldozer Cap deny their spawn, but this is where it gets difficult because, having the luxury of being able to not stand on the point is one that
and they think if they
you
were
miss
to
when you
change
don't
on
have
Mog
it.
70 just to deny the
with
cap.
that Uber ad. Almost got Francis with like his 98% Uber, but
Didn't matter. They just need to keep the players
yeah.
off the point, and that's what the Uber successfully did.
Yeah, as I was saying, those like overtime situations, it is a luxury to be able to just give up cat for a few seconds and reaggress and do whatever. But when it's overtime, you don't have that luxury, and you
They didn't
really
have cap
feel
time
it.
either, which sucks. So they didn't have any like buffer to play with there for Bulldozer experience. So they dropped the first round, and this may have been the halftime adjustment they needed, or map adjustment that Mach 70 needed. Subbing out Marty Banana and available back on a stronger class than Soldier. Soldier bombs early, Fly kills Winter, and Shell's aggressing. He's forcing the players out, and Sheep and Loki might get caught out here, but available, throwing man down from house. Having that Soldier in house allows you to pressure off the players on point.
Yeah, health is just horrible for Mog 70. They're going to lose the point off that. Still down Winter. That being said, Bulldozer down both soldiers, now losing a scout. They're probably going to have to give that point right back up. Uber's still even. Well, should be even. Pumpkin's been building a little worse. It's 10 disad, but nothing that can be played off of.
Fly walks into
Some nice spam from Loki here. Does go down, actually. Unfortunate.
Oh, but Fly might get a scout pick, but instead he gets air blasted.
Yeah.
And Chill gets killed,
Chill
but he
from
gets
behind gets the force. Nice consolation there. Yeah, Loki got a ton of damage. Should have gotten point off of that, but unfortunately went down for it. Just took too much damage themselves.
I think he was just overextended compared to the rest of his team. His team
Yeah.
needed to walk forward, really, to help him there. He was in a good position. It's not like he was that far overextended.
So we are looking at ad for Bulldozer, and they do use it. Pumpkin could be caught if they bomb a demo.
And
They're a
Slick
little
is gonna
slow
call
on it,
house
though.
at least.
Okay, they get 2 consolation picks, but yeah, Pumpkin was completely caught there. If they spotted that med positioning, just bomb demo, kill med, you still have Uber ad. But unfortunately, it's going to be disad now. They are in a forward hold.
It's the best
it
they can
looks
ask
like
for here, but they can't be caught in with the heals. They need to fall back once they see the heals, and they do. It's time.
They're just
to
trying
fall
to bust
back.
through.
Fly behind. He can get the drop on the Pumpkin. Yes,
Ooh,
he does.
He does kill Pumpkin 95% before going down. Didn't even have the opportunity to use to save themselves. And now we're just looking at chaos. Trance is in, gets a nice rocket on Francis, who's going to have to bait a little bit. Snow kind of alone on point. Does actually get a pick there. And we're just seeing kind of players scattered around.
That's the second.
As
I feel like
is the case.
Wait, as a Soldier, a scout is in onto Francis, but doesn't get the pick. I feel like the recurring theme of this match is Mog 70. They just go too early and they get punished for it. Or they go too early, but they don't check all their corners. And
I think, yeah, in general, even for both teams, honestly, there's just been problem players that don't get spotted getting in, and that's just kind of how Bagel goes sometimes. You gotta watch those houses. You have to spot those players. Either way, 60 ad in favor of Bulldozer, who just lost their demo. Actually, they're still losing players. They have Uber, but they're forced out completely.
What a commanding retake from Mog 70.
Absolutely.
Quite frankly. And Trans might catch out a Soldier here, but once again, a Soldier is over-aggressive on either team, and at least Trans falls back this time.
Yeah, very. It's a situation in which you expect a 4-man, honestly, from Mog 70. But no, they said, I'll do you one better. Let's not lose any players and just get a bunch of kills and get point anyway. And even Ubers anyway. And
Fly wins this fight in house, so they have...
Yeah. So we do see a Soldier trade. They're just trying to play point here. Getting some nice point pressure. Seeing both scouts and demo just pressuring that point. Decent spam from Loki. Loki going down to 40 HP. Does die to a sticky. So
but they get the better end of that Uber change. Both scouts down from Mod 70. There's a Soldier, but I think there's somebody behind. No, but in the post Uber, nobody's gonna be able to protect.
And they might
Pumpkin.
deny demo. Okay, they don't deny demo. Actually, Mog 70 forced them not to deny demo. They're just kind of selling out for the med.
And Sheep is
Point
just
does
cleaning them
go in
up.
favor. Yeah.
Man's a janitor, clean up on aisle 4. All Mog 70 players down on the
So they
floor.
are down a scout, but will be forward holding regardless. We're seeing demo setup traps left side. These forwards holds haven't been super potent,
Oh, but Fly, look
honestly.
at Fly!
And
He's
actually,
behind for main again. He's gonna go for that same flank.
oh yeah, gets a nice rocket on the pumpkin.
No!
2 rockets. That's that. So now, if you are Francis, you're just worried about that sellout. You don't want them to get to you. 80%. You don't have the luxury of using to save yourself. Looking pretty safe, but again, so they capped point. They denied their med for it.
And they was bombing onto the medic. A very clean bomb.
Oh yeah, available
rocket,
in.
and he bouncing them onto his teammates. But he's
Francis will have to use. Yeah, difficult situation there because you still need to cap point ultimately. And honestly, denying their med turned out to be a great decision here from Mog 70 because they just got probably 20 seconds of cap time for free. And we are seeing Trance behind. Does get spotted.
Oh, he gets cleaned up.
Oh,
And he
does get
Francis.
so. Francis down to 14 HP
Wait,
in a bad
heavy.
position. Are we seeing? Oh, we are
And he has
seeing
the
Sheep
Daleks
on
bar.
Brutus. Dalico's excellent decision, but Tomislav not one I can really agree with here. I've seen Heavy on every Koth map
This is the first time I've seen it on
except Bagel. Bagel's a little uncommon for sure. 15 seconds left. They do get cap. This is going to be a very difficult position. No demo for Mach 70 is the guiding light here. Oh, Chill in behind. Gets Pumpkin. So this should be an easy recap. No heals. Okay, and okay, this is doable. This is definitely doable for if you're Bulldozer. Scout in behind.
Oh, he's
Left house just wasn't being watched.
It's a beef Wellington on thick. Christmas dinner.
Unfortunate. Trance bombing in. Ooh, Francis does force, and they just recap instantly. Deny 3 picks. Okay.
But there's
not
time for
horrible.
one more respawn
They should,
wave.
yeah, they can recap.
Slick is behind. And he's onto the medic. He has the clean entry. He might get away with daylight. Robert, but no.
Hit the shots. This is the exact situation in which that heavy is actually quite effective. So eyes honestly are on Sheep here. Just try and buff them up as much as possible. Deny that. Interesting decision not to play on the point to deny that cap time. That's going to be a big meat shield that Mog 70 is going to have to bust through. And we're seeing picks trading out, trading demos, but actually it's Blue that's dying here.
Wait, but they have enough. They have so much cap time that there's enough time for one more respawn wave.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, but Slick is doing a man's.
Gets a nice pick on the Snow and Fly.
If he stays alive,
just trying to live on point.
He forced out the Uber and he's just dancing around, ring around the rosy.
Yeah, and spawners are so much better for Mog 70 here.
That's so clutch.
Uber is forced from Francis, but the players are just there way faster than Reds are.
Oh my gosh.
Heavy living a bit longer, does get a pick. It's still fightable. Winter getting rolled, does die. Big bomb from Chill.
It's just Fly, he needs to stop the cap. He's the last man, but he just doesn't get it on time.
So we just saw there what is described mostly as a quirk of Bagel. To some it's a charm, to some less so, where spawns are extremely fast when you don't have that point capped, and they're much slower when you do have the point capped. So you'll see in those overtime situations, teams can just dry fight, throw bodies at the point, potentially for multiple spawn waves, which can make for some extremely tense situations like we just saw there.
Honestly, that was a grade A5 beef Wagyu hold from Bulldozer experience. I'm not sure how they... I mean, there were a bunch of players piled on point for Mog 70. They had to go in one by one on the respawn waves because their respawn times weren't on the same wavelength. So I'm not too sure what happened there. Like, I think Bulldozer thought they had the round in the bag, and they actually played ahead of their heavy, who was just shooting down spam from plat. And if they just let their heavy soften up all the players on point and then recommitted off of that, it would have been fine. But maybe they got lost tracking, the cap time, because it was like more than 50% halfway through for the cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another quirk of Bagel, that point caps extremely quickly. So it can be quite difficult to deny teams from capping it.
I'm thinking I'm not too sure what to make out of that half because I felt like I would look at the scores, I would look at what's going on,
Oh,
and then I would
did
look.
we readied up, huh?
Huh.
This is live. I thought that was just soap DM. So we're seeing first cap go to a Mog 70.
Hmm. Oh, so we got lost in the check, but there is no log, so apologies for that. In the meanwhile, Mog 70 started off the half with the cap,
Comment
and
from
Fly went in
Fly.
for a sack.
Fly living, that is miraculous, and just like that, point is capped back. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I would have favored Bulldozer at the start of this game, and just like that, cap flips again.
And
Does
running
cap
in for the
very
medic. They're just
quickly.
going for a
Ooh,
5-man.
Transit's a nice air shot. Yeah, they're just sending
Pumpkin
it for
against
Pumpkin.
a scout. Wow.
Yeah, I would have favored Bulldozer off of the start here, just by virtue of them having that momentum off of Snakewater and looking strong. But now that it is clear that momentum is not there anymore, this is definitely Log 70 favored.
Oh, but Chill gets immediately denied, but Winter's
okay, trades out with Winter.
They tried
We are
to
seeing
use
an
to
Uber
save him.
exchange. Exchange is a little better for Mog 70. There's some flashes from
But there's a recommit
Bulldozer.
from Fly
But
in
their
the back, like he's
post-Uber
caught the
positioning is
exit.
not good. The Scout's trying to get the demo, doesn't quite do that. And now it's just Available and Salus playing in their left house, going together. Available getting a rocket off, but will be
nice
to
bomb.
no avail.
There's a little, that's a very nice improvised bomb from Available. I think he jumped off the roof there towards Flag.
Yeah, it was nice. So we are seeing forward traps, but no forward hold because they did not have a soldier to do so. So time definitely in the favor of Mog 70, full minute advantage, and getting a lot of cap time quite early.
Oh, Chill gets pressured out of house by Salus, who gets cleaned up by Slick. Wow, that was a very good coordinated play by Mog 70. Now, big catch on Slick again.
Snow does die. They use Uber.
They
Might be able to catch some picks here.
And Pumpkin doesn't have Uber.
Will get caught.
Nice two-shot.
Sheep not dying for it, actually living quite healthily. Yeah, I was going to say that was very well played from Bulldozer in more than one way.
And they might catch
because
in the back lines too.
They had some passive positioning there because they were a little fearful of a 4-man. And Mog 70 recognized that, tried to just cap in front of them. But they did a great job of kind of skirting that territory where you're baiting enough to where a 4-man's not as effective while also denying cap.
Meanwhile, Mog 70 are going to try to recap this point, but they're facing down the whole combo of Bulldozer. They will start off by losing Salus, though, and that's not very good. It won't bode well as Sheep's on an 8k. Soldier on point. Trance lost his soldier partner Available in the meanwhile, and they cap, but they deny their 2 spawns. Not too good, but they get a demo pick. Pumpkin's pressured off here. Will potentially die to Fly. No. Fly managed to get the kill and might get Winter too, but he'll fall to Slick. Still, they get the medic.
So the consolation here being you still have Ad to work with. Should hopefully be able to get point off of that, and then maybe waste a little time even past that. So time, if this is all played well, should be about even. But, Mog 70 can definitely throw a wrench in those plans. And just like that, Sheep going down to spam. That makes this much more difficult to get this point.
No, it's going to have to take up the mantle here as he has to replace the scout on the combo. He's going to have
Pumpkin
to
is aggressive. Pumpkin would be caught if they catches a pipe. They might want to aggress. No, they just get point off of that.
And Chill is actually aggressive on the main. He wanted to kill a medic,
down.
but wrong coordinates.
Yeah, both scouts on single-digit HP will get healed up. Okay, so a little shaky, but ultimately still around the same kind of deal there. Ubers are close to evening out. They do use. Salus might go down. Salus takes a big hit. They might be inclined to chase this.
Gets slick, but wait, there's
choosing not to.
He falls back with his team. Maybe the heads-up play to make, and he's going to try to catch the Snow.
Might be looking for a solo Uber here, kind of leading his med forward.
They chose to
down a bunch of players.
I think they brought heals to kill Snow first, and now they have the mana, so now they're going to actually run it through right house.
Oh, they're shoving right house. France is completely caught. And Fly, okay, Fly getting around unscathed, doesn't get spotted. Sheep just getting chased down by the world, is living, for now at least, taking a 1v1 with a soldier. There's just chaos happening. Fly is in, will die, Sheep will die. And now 30 seconds left, even Ubers. Red's gonna have to wait for their spawners, which is gonna shave a little more time. And actually, ooh, Winter, quite aggressive. does go quite low, but will live. This is going to be a scary situation if you're a Bulldozer.
These are going to walk back in here. Cho leading the charge for his team. He bombed too early and he died last time, but now Fly is in house. Will lose the fight. Actually trades up with Available. So a bit okay, but it's not good because actually they get the pick on the Winter.
A lot
so
of cap time.
For Bulldozer.
Ooh, and I think they may have dodged overtime just barely there.
No,
so
they still got it. They still got it.
I see 0 on the clock, but I don't. Well, I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Oh, Pumpkin catching a pipe, going down to 10 HP. Didn't have yet. Probably would have forced if he did. Does finally get and use.
Let's see how much.
We're seeing flashes from both teams. Fly bombing in onto Winter. Ooh, trades out with Winter. We're seeing picks from both teams. About even numbers. But Pumpkin might go down here.
They do.
Sale is in, available in. Looks like Francis might be living, at least for the time being.
But don't forget, they have the better
soldiers are going down. That's true, but I think it's going to be difficult. Winter's going in alone, deciding there isn't enough time for spawners here.
Well,
yeah, the fact that
time, but yeah, it's not enough.
Okay, we're seeing them send it in, just trying to get what they can. Winter will go down. Down those 2 picks, it's going to be very difficult, and that is Mach 70 on the clock. Am I lost? Did Bulldozer win the first 2 rounds?
No, they lost the first 2 rounds.
That's what I thought.
It's currently 2-1 for Mog.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
Switched, switched teams.
They switched teams, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first round for Bulldozer. I just look at my scoreboard. It says Mach 70 on red, which is not correct.
Yeah.
Either way, we're seeing a new mid here.
And
Slick going down quite early. Health is actually pretty bad for Bulldozer
Loki, so they'll trade
gets the pick.
Advantage.
Down 3 for Bulldozer. Maybe down 4. No, never mind.
But Available is going to kill the guy in right house, so yeah. That's a dominant mid for Mach 70.
Yeah, will be a convincing point for sure. Ubers are even. And actually, I think they denied those spawns. That might be an error that loses them the point here, because now Bulldozer have 2 picks to work off of, and it looks like they are aggressing, just trying to clear sticks, take some space. Meanwhile, Mach 70 is trying to buy some time.
Enemy lines.
Ooh, Mike Crater just barely living. Available does go down in one of the houses, and nice cap time. Snow quite weak, catches a bow. Ooh. Loki going down to double-digit HP.
Oh,
we're seeing Uber exchange.
No, but he lagged out. Post late pop from Bulldozer. They're gonna try to kill Pumpkin, but they aren't managing to do so. HP so bad on Bulldozer.
Yeah, health just on all sorts of players very low. We're seeing a lot of chaos. But keep in mind, this chaos is still favoring Mog 70 technically because they have the point capped. Their whole point is to waste point here. Fly does get the pick there, and suddenly things are bad for Mach 70. We're seeing counter bombs come in. Does not get any value.
Oh, but
and, Winter is in. Not able to get too much done here. Seeing Scout running through. Does not get any hits on the med. And yeah, just as I was saying things were going well for Mach 70, suddenly Fly has a nice pick on the med, and then from there it's just a failed attempt to salvage. So I'm noticing in these forward holds, they're playing a soldier watching like the right concrete door, and then the other soldier just watches main. Very
because
interesting.
Fly usually goes to the flank onto Pumpkin. And
chill in. Oh, they just use in. I guess there was a call that they were close, maybe catchable.
They knew they had Uber. They just wanted
are
to
getting some
Pumpkin.
picks. Winter actually, I think, got bowed or something. I thought they were weaker than they actually were.
Now, I remember
potentially a wasted Uber there. You know, keep in mind those 2 picks are nice, but with those fast spawns, they're already back up, and Blue's already refighting.
Yeah, that's a Bulldozer specialty. They did it on both of their bagel matches, but that time it doesn't work out. They didn't catch a Pumpkin, who generally has been caught out in those scenarios, but
they are sending it for a 4-man, getting some damage. Pumpkin, isolated with Fly, does go down, so 4-man already successful.
But Francis went down in the midst of that, so it's all for naught. And it's just up to Sheep and Snow, but Snow starts off with a kill onto Slick. Sheep is now onto Winter, who's low.
There's some weak players around. This is very doable. It takes a Scout 1v1, actually loses to Salas. And now it's going to be pretty difficult for Bulldozer here.
But Fly's going to try to stop point, delay the masses for the respawns to come in, but he will crater and he will fall.
Now down that pick, it's going to be very difficult to get point. Loki taking a ton of spam, will have to get healed up. And this is where Mog 70 is perfectly content to just waste their time, play their spam. You know, they're totally happy if Bulldozer just decides to send a pick and back up.
Because right now they
for
have
the next
cap.
60 seconds.
Round timer is going down, like you said. Look, it's aggressive,
And
he
just like
cleans up
that,
Snow with the help of his
Snow
scout
goes
partner.
down.
And Fly goes
And
down.
Fly
right
goes down.
house.
Yeah. Mog 70 totally happy for this.
And Salos is going to go for the pick. I don't like that because of his delayed spawns, but I don't think it's going to matter in the midst of things. But it's a 15-second timer.
Yeah, we will see that is a much longer spawn timer than Red has. But, yeah, we'll see how much that comes into play. We are seeing some aggression from Bulldozer again. We are seeing an Uber exchange, just trying to buy some time. Get Ubers off the table. Ooh, winner going down is very difficult. Down a demo, it's going to be much harder to contest that point. We are seeing Chill is getting in on the med, gets one rocket off, but will go down. Salos just fighting point. And we're seeing actually only 3 up for Bulldozer. This might be a collapse. Available is in, going for the demo. Loki going quite weak. Available will get cleaned up though. But Bulldozer's just going to have to back off.
Wow, with how that Uber exchange started, I would have thought Mog 70 lost that. I don't know how they held on.
So we do see a recap from Mog 70, which denies their soldier spawn, makes things more difficult, but they will get overtime here, and that's going to be exactly what you want to have in a situation like this. Winter does go down, Pumpkin does go down. They do get Francis. It's 2 from Red.
It's like
now 1. It's just a demo.
One-man job, and he does 2 shots. A 1v2 on play on Snow and Loki. Demo and Scout down. Mog 70. 1 more round, and they've eliminated Bulldozer.
Yeah, 1 round away from moving on in playoffs. So back against the wall for sure for Bulldozer. We're gonna have to see just solid play. And honestly, unlike what I've seen in especially the amateur bagel games we played, it's not teams making like very blatant obvious mistakes. There's definitely been like Uber ad situations where the other medic is caught and they don't just capitalize on that. But other than that, it's been a lot of chaos and not super obvious mistakes. We do see Double Bomb come in, gets Pumpkin. They will trade both soldiers for that. We're going to see counter aggression potentially. Available does go down, trades out with Snow. We're just seeing a ton of aggression. 2 scouts in. Do get Francis, but they're going to take almost a full wipe for that. Actually,
it's just Sheep versus Trance on mid. He's going to fight. He's going to get overhead bomb onto...
This is definitely a scout-favored fight, especially now that the help has shown up in Fly. Actually, Sheep does go down. Trance, nice 1v1 there. Will even live.
Oh no, he bumped into the rocket! He jumped out!
Oh well. Neither team is cap point at this point. Ubers are even. There is a soldier pick in favor, and actually now a scout pick in favor of Bulldozer. Big bomb. Nice. Chill does clean up Pumpkin, so now it's ad for Red. Just have to keep their med protected, keep them alive. We're seeing a bomb from Available. We'll just back out. And in the meantime, we did see Bulldozer, Bulldozer did cap the point. So now clock is ticking. Now all this wasted time is in their favor, and they have full ad to work with.
Yeah, looking for a 4-man here. It's going to shave up a lot of time on the clock should Mog 70 not have a successful 4-man. Sales is on point, baiting cap, forcing the medic and the heals forward, and that's the trigger for the play.
We are seeing some bombs come in. Francis still pretty healthy. Ooh, the demo bomb does get the force. Very scary class to be above your head. And actually, the players, okay, they do finally all get cleaned up. That's all 4. We're seeing...
Shell's going for a play here.
It's probably like 30... almost 40
Disad position here. This could be a huge tie turner.
Oh yeah, hiding in this main area. Oh, Trance will clear it, but the timing, he does get a bomb on Pumpkin, is not able to get the rockets off.
It was a good heads-up play, though. I think that would have definitely ruined Mog 70's chances in the round, but now it might be punishing for over the bomb.
4-man going in. Pumpkin a little bit weak, but Snow's in no position to get to them. Will probably get cleaned up here.
Snow makes it out alive. That's a huge late death, but it's going to be nullified by the recap, potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very doable.
What? Chill just bombed out on a solo plane. He got the force. Now they might have to exchange.
Not an exchange yet.
Pop maybe later.
Ooh, Loki might die. Ooh, huge just barely lives.
Huge milk.
So now they have full ad and 2 picks to work with. Point should be completely free. We're seeing Winter pretty aggressive on point. Pumpkin also very aggressive. Would be caught to an Uber if they used right now. Is still not backing up. They're just playing their spam. They're just playing aggressive. And Bulldozer losing 2 to pipes.
A 2-for-1
just
deal.
And they get forced anyway. They did not call the bluff on the disad positioning, and they lost 2 scouts for it and lost their Uber anyway.
The medic post Uber, dancing around, but still gets cleaned up. Oh my goodness.
We're seeing a bomb in from Winter. Will probably get cleaned up here to a soldier.
That's overzealous.
Yeah, definitely aggressive. Kind of feeling himself after killing those 2 scouts with the 1 pipe.
And
Chill bombing in. Will trade
down
with the med. That was a perfect position for Mog 70, but then they were just feeling themselves, and with their ad decided to play it like it was a 4-man for some reason.
Why would they? Why did they stay in there if they only had 3 players? I just don't get it.
Snow dying there, kind of the furthest forward. The rest of his team kind of playing baity, playing back. They decided to just give up point. This is ad for them. I guess they're fearing that 4-man. They're just trying to get some pressure. Fly, quite aggressive, alone. Will not get cleaned up, actually. A nice live. So, still ad. They decide to just use outright, and this is perfect. Pumpkin's completely caught. That's exactly the Uber that they should have been looking for. Chill does go down, unfortunately, but this is still ad in favor of Bulldozer as a result.
Rumpus, I know. I'm starting to see what you're saying with how aggressive Pumpkin's positioning is. Like, they're just never ready for an aggressive Uber, and that's Bulldozer's strat.
In any Koth, when their med is catchable to an Uber and it's disad, just get the med. You're wasting time when you have point, and you still preserve that ad, and you can just rinse and repeat. Either way, the 4-man does get Francis.
They will get. They get everybody.
Oh,
it's just chill.
Oh, wow, yeah, just chill up. Might get Winter here. Ooh, Winter going down to 11 HP, but Chill will get cleaned up.
Save.
And, you know, sometimes those 4-mans just wipe teams. It's hard to explain.
I think if Winter dies there, Bulldozer can just recommit. But you know what? Now that Winter's still alive...
Yeah, there's going to be traps to worry about. Oh, the counter heavy.
With the wrong minigun.
On the incorrect minigun. You hate to see it. But we'll see what this heavy gets done. Fly actually dying to a pipe spam. We're seeing the heavy in left house or right house, depending on your perspective, just dominating on the point. This is the kind of aggressive heavy play.
The medic, it's the nukage! Gets the demo and the medic. That sealed their chances of getting back into this. I think it's over.
Yeah, now it's 15 seconds left. You have a demo, you have a heavy. It's just salvage from Fly, trying to bomb in, get something done, but there's an Uber to pop. No point holding it, and this is going to be extremely difficult.
And Mog 70.
There is cap time, so we're going to see at least some opportunity to fight. But there's...
Oh, this heavy's just doing so much work, railing down anything in his sight line.
Ton of HP. Yeah, only so much you can do there. Salus just playing Kovacs, and that's going to be game and set.
Mog 70 take the last map 4-1, and they avoid the first seed curse. Well, they didn't lose any. They did lose a few matches this season, so they wouldn't have been susceptible to it. But hey, they're into a win's a win. They're on to the semifinals to face off against Albanians in Paris, who defeated. Actually, maybe not Albania. Yeah, Albanians in Paris, who were a surprise team in intermediate this season, an amateur move-up team that finished 12-4. And I gotta say, I was actually surprised at the quality of this match. Let's see if the other match is still going on. No, wait.
I think that is
we are on to the third map. We're on to the third map.
Really? Perutech 1 Sunshine, huh?
Do you want to take it?
I am down to hop in and see what's going on in map 3. Maybe I'm just a Perutech doubter, but I was not expecting map 3 out of that series.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts overall, though, for this match? I mean, granted, Bulldozer had a chance, but I think Mog 70, despite all the holes in their synergy, Bulldozer just made too many heroic plays that got punished for, per se.
I think, again, as I was saying, there was there weren't massive obvious mistakes that I noticed. And And it's hard to tell with Bagel, especially because there's just so much chaos. If there was anything that stuck out to me, it was that it seemed every single time that Francis had ad, Bulldozer didn't seem to be looking for those aggressive Ubers. And every single time they had ad, Pumpkin would have just been caught if they just saw the med not standing in main ready to leave. Just the demo calls a use, bombs in, you kill the med, you kill other players, you back up, you live, and then you can just repeat from there because you have ad again. And there was definitely a lot of missed opportunities in that regard. But I don't know.
I
It
feel like
just
Slick
seems
made a lot of
like
heroic plays though.
um I can agree with that for sure. Um and there was just a lot of chaos in general that it just felt like in the blend of chaos, Mog 70 just got more value in what they were doing than Bulldozer did. And that that turned the tide in their favor a little bit.
Right, right. I feel like though, despite how things went, for the boys in red, which was Bulldozer for that map, it was I felt like the first two rounds, like they were so close. I wasn't aware of the fact, like, as the round came to an end, I would look at the round timers and I'd be like, oh wait, Mog 70 had a pretty sizable lead. Like I felt like those first two rounds were so explosive, and then, it just kind of fizzled out towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Do we have STV for
We
the?
do. I'm actually going to update the casting essentials stuff before we head into the match, but they are on the last map, which is Gully Wash, and I will send it to you
Oh,
too. I will send you that, so make sure to reload TF2, my friend, and we should be heading in. If the team names are swapped, just let me know. I'll give you the
so it
command.
looks like Sunshine was actually a 5-2 in favor of Peru Tech. And then Process we know was a 5-0. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm just surprised, Perutech coming out on Sunshine. You'd expect, based on the scout combo that Image have, they would be coming out on top, but I guess that's not the case now. I wonder. I'm gonna actually probably watch the demo after this and figure out, what the hell happened.
Mm.
So thoughts now. We are on Gully Wash. Start the season. Image looked a bit shaky on it, losing a few rounds to Free Energy Suppression, who actually were the team to knock Nug Hub out of playoffs, the Young Sanity team. So
Um, yes, but at the same time, I think Nug Hub knocked themselves out.
yeah,
Um, very unfortunate because they were kind of a lock. They were one win ahead from like the bubble, but then they lost to Free Energy Suppression, which a team that didn't make playoffs. I don't know what their record was
Free
when all
Energy
was said
seven
and
and
done.
9.
Yeah, losing to a 7-9 team, um, definitely unexpected, and I think also it was a 3-5. I think losing 3-5 is like the one condition under which they get enough like round differential to get knocked out of playoffs. So definitely a tragedy for all the young man fans out there.
Let me send you that updated stuff so you can reload TF2. And then let's move forward. I'll give you the STV. We'll head straight into it. Don't stick around, guys, if you are interested in some more TF2 action. You got time tonight. We are going to be casting the last map between Image and Peru Tech. Image, the 3rd seed, versus the number 6 seed, Peru Tech. Image took the first map, which was their map pick, very convincingly, 5-0 on CB process. Then we headed on to Sunshine, where Peru Tech upset Image in a pretty close match, but the second half they just came away, train off the rails, and now we're on Gully Wash. So this is going to be interesting to see because I would have expected Peru to just be handed a 2-0 loss, but they've got some fight left in them, Rumpus.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and Protec has had an inconsistent roster as far as demo goes as well. I'm curious to see
Earl's
who
playing
is on
tonight, so
demo.
they should be
Is
okay.
it Earl? Okay. Earl has been usually playing with them, but not always, I think.
I just saw I just gave you the wrong SCV. My bad. Let's resend the right one, and we should have it. It's a Kansas server, interestingly enough.
Oh.
In the words of Sin Karma, my former teammate, Cans ass. But, Serve Me TF servers have been pretty reliable on Kansas.
I used to prefer Chicago because I live in Chicago, so I used to be like a 5 ping player.
Mm-hmm.
But the routing on my current internet is like all sorts of messed up, and I usually get more like 20 ping to Chicago, even though I'm literally in the city. But oh well.
It is how it
So
is.
so it appears like we are in Soap DM. And it looks like it's first to 3, so I don't know if there's been a half yet of Gully Wash. We might
It
get
just started. We just started.
Very nice.
And they won the second map, Sunshine, 5-2 for those who are just tuning in. You didn't get to see that because you just finished watching Bulldozer versus Mog 70. So now we're heading into the swing of things. And looks like this is... I actually don't have any info on these teams, on Galewa specifically.
Yeah, Gully, I'm not sure. We have very, very rarely scrimmed Peru Tech, so I have like super no read whatsoever on them on Gully Wash. We have scrimmed Image on Gully a handful of times. Definitely a map that they're competent at, I'd say. They're good at it for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. And I think their picking of Gully Wash is probably a mix of them thinking they're good at it, and it's probably a map that's a little weaker for Peru Tech, I think, is their reasoning. Because I wouldn't imagine that they'd consider themselves like the Gully team. We'll see, though. Lieutenant Lemon's very strong on demo. Can do a lot on a map like Gully Wash. It is a little strange, though, because I would say Gully is not a very scout-centered map, especially like on flank scout. There's almost nothing for you to do. And Image has very strong scouts, so it's an interesting decision for them to pick more of a soldier and demo-centric map like Gully Wash.
So let's run down the lineups momentarily for those who are just tuning in and aren't familiar with these teams. Peru Tech, they made some mid-season changes. No more math. Instead, you're going to have Potts and Zyhack on the scout duo. Zyhack currently alias as Anime Drug Dealer. Yeah, kind of funny name. And then on your roamer, you have S, who I've been very surprised by this season, coming over from Asia Fortress. Played superbly well when I casted him. And he was actually somebody I considered trying out when I was thinking about playing this season. And Moist DM, your pocket soldier, very renowned for his roamer play. Last 2 seasons, I believe, he was on roamer. He's been a pretty good soldier. And then you have Earl and Slice Rogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Peru Tech did exist as a team a couple seasons back. Did make playoffs and made it maybe to 3rd.
No, they got eliminated quarterfinals by, I believe, the team with Comp. And Randy.
Right, Monstars.
Monsters.
That was the 3rd
bunny
place team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did make it past first round of playoffs. Although this is a completely different lineup, kind of Peru Tech in name only, because Moist DM I think is the only repeating player here. As for Image, did play as an advanced core actually, I think last season. I don't know how many players were on the advanced iteration.
Just Tyga and Lemons and Winston.
Really?
So
I think Brody was around as well.
He was on
I don't recall. Oh, he was on a different advanced team, correct? Okay, so a core that did play advanced, some advanced talent. This iteration though hasn't played together and is playing main. As for the roster, They have Taiga on Combo Scout, Negasora on Flank Scout. Cadilli is their medic, and then they have Trogdor Burninator on Pocket Soldier.
Mr.
Brody
Wasted.
is their roamer, and Lieutenant Lemon's demo. Actually, I'm pretty sure Brody's roamer and Trogdor is Pocket. They could be flipped. I'm not
I actually
sure.
think Brody. Actually, yeah, I think actually Brody is pocket from what he's told me. So
Okay.
Winston, aka Chalkdoor,
Yep.
is Roamer now, which actually
Yeah,
surprised me because Brody did play Roamer in advanced. So
yeah, he's normally a roamer player. Um, Yeah, Trog. He does usually go by Winston now, but he's a very ancient player.
right,
I remember seeing the name Trogdor Burninator back in like
ESE.
open
That's an
threads and things.
ESEA.
Yeah, and that's a very funny alias that I enjoy. I think a lot of Image is pretty old players. Definitely had some ESEA seasons, especially Brody for sure. Quite a boomer. Um, yeah, it looks like we have 10 in the server. Might be some time here before we get going.
Let's talk about the rest of main playoffs. So obviously you guys beat Wang Gang, who were my dark horse for the season, and granted, I expected them to make playoffs. They did. Did I expect them to lose as they did in playoffs? Not necessarily. So, what are your thoughts on your match versus Wang Gang? Like, what did you think about their scout
Um,
combo? Because I think playing Gully Wash against Holly and Tech would definitely have eliminated the strong points of Wang Gang.
yeah. So we played them on Clear Cut and Gully. I think I have mixed feelings about Wang Gang. I think they definitely earned their playoff spot without a doubt. But I know that in talks with like main team leaders, Bones definitely did perceive some I don't want to say disrespect, but
Underestimated his opponents, we'll
yeah,
say.
he definitely took issue with a lot of players kind of counting them out, especially since they had a lot of impressive wins in the regular season, but I don't know, I think there was some kernel of truth to them being kind of underestimated, and maybe some of their wins were pretty close and kind of got treated as they were just the better team despite it being a close win or whatever. That being said, like, it was a good match. And I'm not trying to like BM them or anything because they were fine opponents. But yeah, I think I'm not surprised with the outcome. I'll say I think that we were a stronger team.
And let's talk about, well, yeah, granted, I agree with that, and I think the map pool definitely favored your team moving forward. But let's move on
Yeah, I
from.
should have said they
Uh,
picked Clear Cut, which is a pretty decent map for us. That was a surprising
yeah, I was
decision.
surprised by that. I thought they would have picked product, but I don't
Hmm.
know. Did you guys ban that first pick or first
We
ban?
banned Bagel.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree with that. Banning Bagel against them. That seems very reasonable. I thought they would have picked
yeah,
product, but they just chose not to, and they got
yeah, it
flagged
was
for it.
because they beat us 3-4 on product in the regular season. So I figured they would have just picked product. But I mean, we did scrim product in preparation before even map picks or anything like that, and we got pretty decent at it. So it would have still been. I still honestly think it would have favored us, but definitely less so than Clear Cut would.
All right, let's move on to the headline match result of the main playoffs. So we talked about it briefly in the IM match. Let's talk about number one Buffalo or losing and eliminated by the Minions, who number 8 seed really are the worst team to represent a number 8 seed in a sense that they aren't really a number 8 seed. That's just how the regular season played them out.
Yeah,
Obviously,
they
yeah.
caught a bunch of really crazy losses in the regular season. And I think it is also a little humorous that they only made playoffs because of Nug Hub's blunder. But either way, that extremely surprised me. I thought that Bungalow had it in the bag. Obviously, Minions showed up with like a crazy roster that in hindsight just looks like really sandbaggy and just like how do you beat that as a main team? But still, like Bungalow put up a fight, and Honestly, if you ask me now, I still think Bungalow is probably the best team in the division, um, which is weird considering they got like 2-0'd. But I don't know, because I don't think it was a fluke. Anyway, we're going to mid here. We are seeing both demos rolling out their own choke. Some nice early damage here being thrown in Big Door. We're actually seeing Negasora instantly walking up, challenging Earl, but does go down. And now down a pick. Yeah, we're seeing double bombs.
Hot's just making quick work of these soldiers.
Lemons fell on the floor, will get picked up, so pretty much a full wipe. Ooh, a little bit of...
Wait, Gadilli's caught! Oh no!
Yeah. Gadilli got separated from Taiga there. Gadilli wanted to walk on top of point, but Taiga seemed to miss that. Ultimately, Gadilli made the correct decision because they got cut off from Big Door. And now this is going to be very difficult to hold for Image. Full Uber disad.
A surprising start indeed. I think Negasora got overzealous there. He thought he just egoed his way onto Earl and he got punished immediately, and then it just fell from there.
Yeah, Negasora is definitely a scout. Oh, Kotz catching a rocket there. Very aggressive. Negasora definitely the type of scout to just run at a demo and challenge them, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't.
Beast.
Yeah, Taiga knows the correct gun, it seems. Playing in secret here. Uber does pop in, gets the sentry gun. Gadilli will go down, unfortunately. There are picks. Lemon's going down. Oh, so many picks coming in. It's just up to the Brass Beast and a Scout. The Heavy is buffed still, is still healthy, and yeah, they get enough picks. Oh, might gun down Slice Rogue.
Oh, Slice makes it out.
A little too weak to challenge that. So yeah, Slice is going to live with 12% to his name. It's going to be pretty much even Ubers.
You know, I like the recollapse from Image in the post Uber. They knew Perutic was going to end top right, so they said, let's just bomb into them, and it worked out for them. They had the insurance of the Heavy on their point.
Okay, so Image is trying to dry this. Keep in mind, there's not much advantage to operate off of. It was even Ubers, even numbers. They do just send a soldier and then back up to last again. We will probably be seeing someone build a sentry gun here.
Kotz is looking to make a play for point already.
Yes, maybe going in water. They're seeing a double sack. Kotz taking a ton of damage. That's the double sack. And that should... Ooh, Negasora on the wrong minigun, unfortunately. You'd think that Taiga would inform him. Either way, looks like Trogdor is going for some type of counter, maybe. No, Brody's in Baby Door.
They haven't even stuck up the shutter doors. They could get through cleanly.
Brody actually hiding in Big Door, just trying to get a pick maybe on the spawners. Oh, finds the Kotz sniper, bombs in.
Oh no, he's
doesn't get the rockets. No, does not get anything.
Oh no, Brody, he completely didn't get any damage on the Kotz.
In the meantime, Negasora was on Spy checking for the off class, but Brody could have told you they had a sniper. And Kotz actually getting a nice peek. I don't know if Gadilli knows he's main. Okay, Moist DM does get cleaned up in water.
They couldn't bomb
the sniper just has a peek shutter. He's getting the crazy angles. Like, they know there's a sniper, but they're not playing these doors. Okay, they do have a pick to work with. Looks like Trogdor's just going fast in. Does not get anything.
It looked like Moist DM played point to distract for the sniper, and then maybe potentially get S in for a second, but S saw that's
trying to peek River. Does go down, and a big sigh of relief for Image as knowing that sniper's down.
Timing. Do they know? I think... Oh, so Negasora pressure so that Brody can get behind, and now he has a potential to go.
Brody's just trying to... Okay, he's not spawn camping. He's going behind. Choke.
That's so smart. That's so smart.
So not getting spotted. This is going to be very good. Kotz is up on Sniper again. Brody needs to make something happen, though, because now his team's down 2 at last. And, you know, Perutek's moving into pressure a bit. Brody's still behind in the other, or in his own choke. They're pressuring. They're peeking their Sniper. Brody's starting to move.
Oh,
Kotz dies again. They lose 2, and Brody's in the perfect position. Slice Rogue's gonna have to force here, and Brody will go down, but gets a ton of damage in the meantime.
That's so huge from Trogdor. He just bombs and gets 2 picks, and there's a soldier in main, I think.
Yeah, we are seeing S hiding in wood here, and actually isn't getting checked.
But there's still a sentry on last.
Yeah, the gun on last is gonna stop this. Taiga spots him, so he's not gonna switch off. And now S is actually in a dangerous situation. Oh, but Gadilli drops to just a Moist DM solo bomb. And Lemons is getting collapsed on. Nice surf, but it won't be enough. It's going to be 3 up for both teams, but Slice Rogue lived, and now it's going to be close to 70 ad for Perutech.
And Peru Tech, despite losing, getting forced in the backlines and losing their flank, working a sack, they managed to drop Gadilli with a bomb from Earl and the spam from Moise. So now they have the advantage. They actually have a 70 ad. This is huge Uber,
Yeah.
and they have their time to work a pick, you know, shoot on that sentry and then use it and have a favorable chance.
So they are playing with a scout, just trying to build out this Uber, hoping that Perutech goes slow, but 70 ad, it's hard to go too slow. And it looks like they're taking this main. They are. They use through main. Gadilli might be... No, they're all living. Gun does go down, but no picks for the Uber. Oh, and they lose 2 in the Uber. A lot of point pressure. That's the primary concern right now for Image, but they have the picks to work with. Moise DM goes down. Slice Rogue
went down
trying to leave. Might get chased down. He's kind of already out, but there's some fast classes in his pursuit. Yeah, Taiga's getting in on him. It's up to the spawners.
Can't get it.
They do defend him adequately. And actually, they want more. They want Taiga.
They know that Gadilli's late on the respawn, so there's no stuff to drag him based on Negasaur being on NG. So now, you know, this is really good for Perutech, despite the scenario.
Yeah, honestly, and that wasn't even... For some reason, I thought Gadilli had ad, but he does not. This is going to be even Ubers on 2.
Last push.
Yeah. Oh well, even Ubers on 2. Let's see. Gully Wash, kind of an interesting map. Normally maps, you kind of have like 3 routes to go. Gully Wash, you really only have 2. It's either Big Door or Choke. We're going to see what Perutech opts to do here to try and break this hold.
Negasaur aggressive. You know, the thing I like about Image is that Negasaur and Taiga, they're both very deadly on their own right, and they can also be flexible in their off classes. Obviously, Taiga has the better off class with the heavy, and Moise
seeing some pressure choke. Oh, Zyhek just gets in, gets a ton of shots off on Gadilli, but not much damage.
Zyhek actually got it in with that, as we see Trogdor going for the quick counter and stuff. Like Zyhek could have definitely gotten the force save, but he just beat the shots. And Brody's on the conch, so they might exchange and then pop the conch later.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to tell what percent he's at. Oh, he has it already. He popped it. They heard it. They're backing up a bit. They just used through.
They popped it with the conch?
Interesting decision, the counter pop. There's gonna be a better Uber here for Perutech.
Taiga's caught here. He could go down.
Ooh, Lemon's isolated in choke.
Oh my god, so much massive damage towards Big Door. Could have killed Taiga.
Yeah, and Big Door's
so much work.
They can bust right through. Trogdor goes down. Taiga's a little too weak to contest this. 2 picks to work with for Perutech. Taiga's gonna go down, make that 3. Gadilli eating spam is gonna try to leave here. They will get out to last, but meanwhile, Earl's very fast, getting some spam. They're gonna have to potentially fight off some players at last here. They are in on last, pressuring. Points being capped. Pain Train on Moise DM caps it almost in entirety. And just like that, you see Zyhek just get on point. That's almost fully capped, and that's your first round for Perutech.
That was huge. They went so fast that Brody was still fighting somebody in Ripper. He couldn't bomb point. With Trogdor being down in the midst of that, Perutech, they just read the situation. They play point. So much point time, and Earl spamming from top right. Successful round push.
Yeah, that Pain Train Soldier can be just so lethal on Gully, because if you don't recognize that point pressure, then you can just lose off of it. Either way, we're seeing a new mid here. Good early spam from Image. The damage is definitely going in Image's favor. Moise DM might get cleaned up here. Kot's a little out of position, taking a 2v1 with Negasaur. Gets traded out. S does get cleaned up, and pretty convincing mid win from Image.
You know, if Brody didn't beef his bomb, he could have potentially killed Slice Rogue at choke. But, well, I guess, you know, it doesn't matter. They are able to take mid and second. But they could have been pushing into last with a potential Uber ad, just at the cost of Brody's life. But he would have responded regardless.
So we're seeing even Ubers here. Kots is on Sniper, going for a water peak into River.
Oh, true.
We're seeing a fast bomb in from Trogdor. I think just gets pre-fire air shot to spam or something.
Yeah.
Kots is peeking River now. Brody may have spotted, may have not. It's hard to tell.
Kind
of a weird angle. Yeah, they're just playing counter sack.
Earl might walk into this trap here. He's successfully spots it. They're just pressuring for Kots to get a
Kots is, deep peeking. Does get spotted. So now they know there's the sniper. Much less of a threat when you know it's there. And Kot's just switching off, I believe. Nope, just resupping.
And Trogdor's on Spy, so they have a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
variables working into play here for Image. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
can they deny the hot sniper.
Trogdor on the Cloak and Dagger, just taking things slow, crab walking in. And that's something worth noting about Cloak and Dagger is that, you know, you're much slower to get into position. You have the advantage of being able to pick your timing, but sometimes when you're that slow, yeah, just like this, they're starting to spy check, they're starting to spam around.
They need to go for a sec on Brody just to make things.
Oh, and they are spy checking in spawn. But
Megasaur's over
Trogdor
point,
might be going. Decloaks now. Ooh, Slice Rope! He misses the stab! Slice Rope had no idea, but Trogdor just missed the stab. And that's 2 down for Image.
That's going low means Moistian is going to have to go for the sack instead. And he goes in, Baby jumps in, but he gets absolutely slammed to a corner by Brody. Lieutenant Lemon's getting credited for that kill. And Taiga, they could catch up the players in the lobby here, but Brody, he's getting denied.
Mm-hmm.
They are able to
we're back. Just seeing some standard sack, counter sack kind of stuff. Negasaur did come up on Sniper, so they're trying the other pick off class. Will be going for the first peak in main, it looks like.
Slice's in a sight line here. Oh no!
Yeah. Oh, the NG's going to check, I think. And there he goes.
And then they can work a soldier sack off that now.
Absolutely, yeah. Gone extremely vulnerable without the NG to heal it. They're a little slow working this. Okay, Trogdor just gets counter sniped actually. And they take an exchange into lobby.
What is this?
Hoping to maybe get something.
Moistian
is bombing in. Will probably get a sniper pick.
Oh wait, but there's 2 players
counter
on
Uber
second
does
here.
get popped.
Oh wow,
very weird situation. That attempted exchange, and actually, wait, Brody is just in water in the meantime. I don't know if they know. There's a lot of chaos happening. So we saw Perutek take a soldier Uber into lobby, hoping for some type of exchange. Didn't really get much. Got 1 pick, but was able to get flashed into 2. And the pressure from River in conjunction with that soldier bomb was enough to get the counter pop. So, you know, all that crazy stuff happening that you've never seen before, and yet here we are again, even Ubers on last, would you believe?
Okay.
We are seeing Negasaur peak main again. Did get the headshot last time on the NG. Takes the shot, does not get anything, and now they know.
Oh, Brody's going to get spotted here. He gets absolutely Kuma-stomped by S, but he loses the fight. Oh, he almost won it.
Unfortunate. S with 17 HP, just barely winning out there.
And Moistian might win this fight against Trogdor in lobby too, but Trogdor gets the pack. Wow, that was close, I gotta say.
Yeah, so we are seeing double sniper. Kot's kind of playing it passively, just watching Launchpad from spawn. And then Negasaur. You know, there's a lot of options on Gully Wash, honestly. It can seem hard, for sure. You can play your double sacks, you can spam your gun. It can be tough against a sniper to spam gun in particular, but, you know, you can do point plays. There's a lot of options. Banners also on the table. We actually lost a couple of rounds to... both the rounds we lost to Wangang on Gully Wash. You see a sniper for scout trade there. Yeah, both the rounds we lost against Wangang on Gully Wash were in even Uber situations on our own last. They never got a round off ad, but they had some inventive strats. They actually brought out the buff banner, which you really don't see, and we didn't really know how to react to, and lost a round.
Image brings up the heavy. And then they're going to take an exchange and then bring in the heavy with the post.
Exchange heavy. Heavy on Launchpad, very powerful on Gully Wash. And it's Taiga, so you know he's on the right minigun here.
He's actually on the Tomasov, sadly.
Really?
Oh, and he pops gun in! This might be oversells. Oh no. Oh no, that's a huge feed. That's bad.
Negasaur does burn out, so it is a trade.
Trogdor coming in from the flank goes down.
Now Taiga would be winning this heavy 1v1 if he was on the Brass Beast, but unfortunately he's not, so...
Somebody stand on point.
This is just going to be a timeout.
Image are unsuccessful in their last push. Will see themselves resetting on mid. Their advantage is nullified. Perutek still remain up 1-0. And remember, guys, this is the first half. 45 minutes to go, or first to 5. Perutek are the underdogs here. They were never expected to win this, but they're showing signs of life here.
So we are seeing another mid.
We're
seeing Negasaur just in on Earl. Might get Earl. 16 HP.
Oh, but
Does get
Gadilli dies
bombed.
to
Will get
S
cleaned up.
in the
Ooh.
banana, and Brody's gonna try to
Okay,
react.
Brody's bombing in. Lemon's just committing across point, hoping for something. Negasaura was behind this whole time, is now committing, but does get spotted. Probably cleaned up in this
Oh, Brody,
2v1
he bombed!
situation.
Oh no, he followed
Oh,
up a
Brody,
choke and he cratered.
yeah, bombing to his own death completely alone. Unfortunate, and now it's gonna be full ad for Perutech. 2 is probably gonna be free. Image is just choosing to play their own last tier, get up a level 3 sentry gun, and let's see if Perutech can convert this ad into a round.
Image stare down the barrel of a potential round loss here. They're building very well actually, so they can get this as long as Prutech just are a bit slow here, but it's like the gears are kicking in. They put it into sport mode.
They want to take it Shutter. They're gonna take it Shutter, using through.
Negasaura, he's
maybe.
on low ground.
Yeah, Gadilli in no man's land. Kind of just trying to surf around, live as long as he can. Will go down. There's some point pressure coming in.
But wait, the frags
The
are
health
even
is
here.
awful for Image.
But Image are getting. But
yeah, 2 up. Yeah, with
a
a demo, this is kind of impossible to do. A scout could have done that, but Slice Rogue, seeing the writing on the wall, will try to leave.
If
Is
Negasaura
getting
gets this
chased
kill,
down.
this is huge.
Oh, and Slice has kind of isolated himself, hoping that he wouldn't get seen. Oh, but just in time.
Juke! Oh my juke!
Nice
Slice
communication on where he was going. Moist DM out of the spawn door was able to jump up to help. And with that, actually, there was not really any ad preserved. It's going to be evens on 2.
But
Moist DM getting through.
He's made so much space for his team, and he's going to land onto Gadilli.
Pretty healthy
so
still, too.
But they're getting
a lot of space being bought. Yeah, but Lemon's disciplined demo man knows to just stare at the choke, not let those players through, let your team deal with the guy that's in. And it's looking like Brutech's going to pretty much wipe. There are 2 behind, though, so they might be able to cause some havoc.
I don't know what went wrong in that last push there for Prutech, but I just saw like in the post over the position,
Actually,
like 4 of them were on low ground.
S is just hiding behind for some reason.
He's gonna try to deny second cap, maybe, perhaps. This might be
it's a situation like this where the players behind is less an opportunity and more of a liability, because look at that, he just gets cleaned up. That's a late death, too.
Yeah, this is bad. Cost is still behind, too.
Yeah, and when a player like that's behind, you can just go forward, because, like, what are they going to do? Like, catch up to you, maybe? And then what? Like, you're already pushing into their last. We are seeing Kotz is probably just trying to get out, but Negasaura, interested in taking the 1v1, does lose it. But Uber is being taken in. The gun is still living on 10 HP, does finally go down. Earl did die in the meantime, so point pressure is going to be very potent here.
But he doesn't get anything. Brody's the last one.
But Kotz from behind is getting picks, and Gadilli's going to go down here.
So Kotz, in the midst of that, he actually got 4 kills after he was caught in behind.
Yeah, all that talk about being behind being such a liability, and then does make it back in time.
So Perutech, they've found themselves a lifeline, and they're pushing into mid. Taiga was just scanning out the area, but he will fall back.
Negasaura on sniper, peeking big door. Does get spotted, gets Kotz, so that's something to work with at least. But Slice Rogue, well, I was gonna say Slice Rogue not interested in peeking, but then just like that, he peeked. Does not get punished for it.
Wild Rumpus. Moist DM is 77% on this battalion, so this is gonna be a very faithful last push here.
Yeah, if Moise has battalions into last with Uberad, then it's going to be very difficult. High bomb from Brody doesn't get spotted. Isn't able to get anything, unfortunately.
Oh, get Earl,
actually, ooh, trades with the demo. Very nice. And Trogdor cleaning up there in River. Might get Kotz, will not, but ends up trading with the soldier.
Gadilli died in all of that.
Yeah, now it's catastrophic. We hear the battalions. The battalions plus Uber is going to be almost uncontestable. They're running straight to point. We're seeing a lot of spam. Lemon's behind point will get cleaned up. And actually, the battalions dies as well.
Oh god, that was such
with the spawners, this is
push.
Yeah, very weird.
Well, I don't like it because, as in the meanwhile, Trogdor fights Baby Door. I don't like it because they had all the advantages to them, and instead they chose to go for the fight instead of waiting for the respawns. They knew that there were respawns coming up, and there would have only been 2 players to catch out on last. Really.
Yeah, I think also they like stacked the Uber with the battalions for no reason. Like, I guess you can maybe be afraid of the trap main, but like that demo's running for his life. He's unlikely to be setting up that trap, so you can probably just battalions in.
The battalions also have support damage too.
Yeah, no, it it's super. That's like a mini Uber basically, and then only pop when you have to. Also, they kind of just ran for point with the Uber flash, so like you're not getting that cap time, and then you're just playing low ground. It was very, very weird way
They
to
pretty
approach
much
that.
went in blind too, and Lieutenant Lemons positioned himself so well. He positioned himself in water, so they would have had to spend like 4 seconds of the Uber walking from main onto point.
Okay, we do see Moisty M on the spy class.
And Tiger's
I
on
don't.
Sniper.
Taiga is on sniper. I don't think that Image knows. They are sending a sack, so you're not going to be expecting the spy exactly. Spy's just going for cap pressure. Oh, with the stickies in front of point. Ooh, doesn't get actually as much damage.
How much? That's so much point time though. Wait, Brody killed
Moisty
Slice
is kind of living.
Wait,
Still going for cap time actually.
Slice
Sacks for
died. Oh.
Slicer did die.
Went for
I'm assuming that it was some soldier play. It looks like there's a rocket launcher and a medigun here in River. Yeah, I was gonna say with that cap pressure, Earl had pre-trapped the point to deny those players stopping it, but missed the det. Didn't miss that det. There goes Taiga. Could have had a pick on a sniper and a demo, but unfortunately didn't really get much for it. Oh, Kot's going down there is going to make it harder.
Bombs on the shutter. He gets the force. He might get Trug or Brody. Oh, so close.
So Perutech will be giving up 2 here, down 3 players. S, I think, got denied as well. So mid's going to be pretty difficult for them to hold here, even with their 30 ad. And actually, nope, it looks like Image is just not interested in any of that jazz.
They saw that S and Earl were up, so Earl could have trapped Big Door, then S could have probably just played by the crates that
theoretically, but S was a spawner, so he was not there yet. They were still down. They were still down 2, and yes, it was like 30 disad, but they were at like 40%. So that midpoint was super dryable. Kind of a missed opportunity from Image, but oh well.
Megasaurus Sniper has been spotted by COTS towards Shutter here. They do know, and Moisty M has bombed into the choke. He's made all the space. They're actually going to use through. Earl sells out Shutter here. So much damage, but
not
it's going to be
catching anyone. Gadilly gets in time. Earl's going down. Kot's, or excuse me, Zayat gets caught. Trogdor's peeking choke. Hungry for more.
Brody makes it out. He makes a sweet
Negasaur
escape.
does die. Yeah, Moisty M's behind. Brody might will not die to him. Moisty M just dies to a rocket jump. So now down 3. It's going to be very difficult.
And that's going to commit to delay the push in the mid. This might actually.
They're trying to hold a soldier close, but without Uber, there's not so much he can do.
But S is delayed long enough for this ball to come in.
Yeah, S bombing in, will die, trades out for Taiga, and down 3 now for Image. They're going to have to back up. Yeah, they were very slow to push into mid with those 3 picks, and no spawners came up in time, and that just turned sour for them.
That was just a great play by S. You know, delaying for the spawns. Sure, he gives his life for it, but
yes,
it's worth
well,
it.
Because like the holding close choke and then committing to it is normally something you'd see for like an Uber exchange, but Ubers weren't on the table, and S realistically should have just died doing that, but was able to live long enough to go drop down and then recommit with another bomb, and it just was bad for Image. So it is technically 10 ad, but we're going to be playing evens here at last. Let's see, we see a single sack from Moisty M. Not able to get much. Actually, a double. Brody catches S somewhere in lobby.
And Trogdor's going to try to go for the sack, but he's meeting a
so now,
off his entry point.
Down both soldiers, you can't deny River and Shutter at the same time. This would be a perfect opportunity for Lieutenant Lemons to just be peeking Shutter and getting good spam in, but isn't doing that. Looks like a bit of a missed opportunity on that counter sack with them down 2 soldiers. We are seeing Pyro.
Oh, he's going to play point. He's going to play point with
exactly. So I was going to say, one of the rounds we lost to Wangang was to a buff banner play, I believe. The other was to a Battalion's backup Pyro Water Uber play. So at least what we figured out, or what we thought, is the counter to that, if they take that Uber in, just pop back quickly. Oh, they actually exchanged through Shutter, hoping to distract for the Pyro and Water. Pyro's coming up now.
For him.
Yeah, it just goes down instantly. S bombing into point is going to get good damage. Earl is committed. He trades out with the demo. So they kind of sell out 4 to get Lemons and Gadilly. They're going to have to give up 2 for this. So losing your med, really bad there for Image, but they're going to be able to have that buffer point in second, not have to worry about losing a round necessarily. That being said, the refight is happening quickly. Maybe they do have to worry about round implications here. Negasaur taking a 1v1. Ooh, Negasaur living on 8 HP. Yeah, they were pretty fast there. 2 was kind of difficult to contest, so now it is going to be disad into last for Image here. And it looks like Perutech just going fast river here. They're going to use through. Earl gets juggled a little bit. Negasaur on the wrong minigun will go down. The counter bomb coming in from
There's no 6
Brody.
point now. It's just Brody up the whole point.
Yeah, down 3. This is going to be insanely difficult. Moist DM on point. Just getting rockets off, getting spam off. It's just up to Taiga, but what can a scout do in a situation like that? And that is 2-0 for Perutech.
Yeah, I think if Lemons isn't caught out there, they have a chance. And Trogdor going down very early in that last push means Brody, he was already on the low ground and he was taking fights, so he was not in a good position to contest points. So
yeah, I'm not sure if Lemons had traps point either, because I saw them backing up Shutter. Probably had some forward traps there, but wasn't expecting them to be so fast river. It looks like they are playing their side. Images just meat grinder completely. Just munching.
With the salvage bomb!
The salvage bomb from S cleaning up Gadilly.
Oh, he gets out. Nice.
Point is going to Image here.
Look at Winston.
Yeah, Trogdor getting aggressive here in river. We'll probably have to... Whoa, just getting in instantly on Slice. One rocket, the second does not connect.
The Angel's death. Oh my gosh.
So actually, Image was quite fast here. Will get cap on 2. We'll probably have to give it up almost immediately, but we'll at least get it. Yeah, they are out now.
They have 50 ad. This is huge for Perutech.
So Perutech should be able to potentially dry into mid here before Uber's even out. And it's just up to Image to try and slow them down. Maybe get a force if possible. Soldier is spotted on lamp, forced to jump off. They're a little slow getting through choke, but nothing really bad.
Z, but no one's gonna go to it. Now they're just absolutely shut out of this. And no sack, they just choose to delay long enough.
Oh.
They're gonna try to end this.
And they do still have like 25 ad, and they're trying to be fast with it. Hopefully get 2 with it. So Image actually at 90, if they were, 5% faster, then they could have potentially fought 2. Looks like they're going for an exchange, yeah. This is very scary. They use... Okay, Slice Rogue uses as well, so it is an exchange, but down both soldiers for Image. They don't have 2 quite yet, so that's going to stall them a little bit. But scary situation for Image.
Wistiam was trying to go for heads up sack.
Oh, and they're trying to dry into last. We see both scouts in. Soldier bombing point will go down. And there goes Kotz. Negasaur dies in the meantime, but they get their 2 picks. And not much advantage to work off of here. They're gonna peek into 2. Bomb a soldier. Trogdor will go down here. And actually, Brody's going down as well.
And Trogdor does...
Oh, Taiga's committed. We'll probably get Earl.
He needs this pick or else they lose this.
In the meantime, Moist DM's going to last, but Negasaur is here. Negasaur sees him. There's nothing to really be done.
Like you said, Rumpus, that push in the second was scary because if they had fully committed with that exchange in the post, as Moist DM gets caught by stickies, like if they had stayed in, they would have guaranteeingly wiped.
Yeah, sometimes it just works out though. I mean, they had like a pick to work with. They were down 1, the opponent was down 2. We see S hiding here. I think, yeah, probably spotted. Will not be able to get anything done. But, sometimes a bad idea is a good idea if all 6 players are on the same page.
This is huge momentum. If they make a good exchange in the last, I think Image can get around here.
Very possible, yeah. Losing Trogdor, unfortunate there. So there is 40 seconds on the clock here, and these are like hard 40 seconds. There's no overtime if you get cap time. So with that kind of time, yeah, 30 seconds now. These traps, yeah, there goes Brody. You have to be fast with this amount of time, so those traps are just gonna get picks.
Well, remember, this is the half timer.
Through Shutter. 25 seconds left. There's the counter pop. Uber is better for Perutech, but they do flash. Now we're seeing Negasaur fighting S in water. Seeing some recommit through Launchpad here. Gadilly going down quite low, but ultimately still living. Pick's actually
Oh
coming
my,
in for
the
Image.
skills take from
Even
Moisty
numbers
M!
overall. Lemons is still up, but there's just not enough time.
Yeah, it's not the same as the round timer. The half timer, if it's down to 0, it's absolute 0. You just go straight into it to half. If it's the round timer, then we could have seen what we saw last game from Mod 70, but Image, I'm scared for them.
Yeah, this is really not looking like their map pick right now. I don't know what's going on. I will say, worth noting, they held last with Disad, down 3 players when Taiga was on the Brass Beast. Meanwhile,
They
the
lost.
Tomislav has just really not been paying dividends. Something to consider, but ultimately, I think they did. We saw a round reset, right?
Just
Image was
once.
unable to push into Perutek's last. I think if they want a shot here, because they've had good mids, they've had good things. They definitely need to clean up their sacks and like sacking protocols and just try different things. Because like goalie last especially is a point that you can get so inventive. You can pull out banners. You can pull out literally any. Well, maybe not engineer, but like any other off class. You can really experiment and. There's really no reason not to just like rip fast sacks or do whatever goofy play you want to do. Um,
I'm looking at the logs here. I see so much damage being done by the Peru Tech soldiers in comparison to the Image soldiers. And on Gully Wash, I'm sure some of that may have been, because Peru Tech were the ones pushing in the last and having a lot of time to bomb, whereas Brody and Trogdor on Image, they were on the back foot for the most part of the game. But that kind of damage impact is what you want out of your soldiers heading into this next half, really.
Also, the one stat here that super sticks out to me
The death,
is
the medic death differential.
yes. Yeah, Gadilli just having a much harder time living here than Slice Rogue. And I've noticed on disads he's been in very weird positioning, honestly. Like there's been times he's been like caught out on the floor because that's the only place he can kite and things like this.
There was that one mid where they
Um,
were leaving with Taiga and Gadilli. They just weren't on the same page either.
yeah, where Taiga needed to be with Gadilli ultimately because they were getting cut off from Big Door. I've noticed also Slice Rogue has absolutely been baiting those last pushes that go poorly, and Gadilli has more so just gone down with the ship.
It's the low
So
guy specialty, and I mean it's working out
yeah,
really. So I'm not gonna harp on him with Sideswipe for doing
I mean
that.
yeah, like turning what would be like 30 to 40 disad into evens is very very valuable, and like if the last push isn't going well, then get out of there. I don't know what else sticks out here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the med deaths are definitely
I feel like
the big
Negasora.
killer here.
I feel like Negasora needs to turn up right now. Now, granted, it is flank scout on Gully Wash, but he's been losing a lot of these fights on the flank versus COTS. So that could spell trouble for Image if Negasaur just isn't popping off and winning those individual aim duels. Because as a flank scout on Gully Watch, those DM fights are more crucial compared to playing with a team. Because you find yourself in a lot of scenarios where instead of being with a team, you're supporting your roamer in a lot of the pushes. So
Hmm.
Negasora also like I just feel like he just hasn't been in the limelight too much during most of these plays.
Yeah, and there's really like only so much that a flank scout can do on this map. I've noticed Negasaur. I think Negasaur and Kots are both scouts that absolutely will just take 1v1s.
Right.
Um, so we're seeing them 1v1ing a lot on the flank, and I don't know if that's worth it necessarily. Like, it's nice if it works out, but it seems kind of like a needless risk just putting your team down a pick for like very little reason. It just makes it harder for them to do what they need to do. But I'm not a flank scout, so I couldn't tell you.
You know what I feel like the play for Image here is obviously Gadilli feels the need to commit to the team. I feel like their last pushes have been destroyed by the fact that, if you look at the second to last push that they had, I think they had like three. So the second last push they had a significant advantage, and they just didn't stick to high ground. They just went to take the fights on floor, and if they
Hmm.
just had stuck with their heels,
Yeah.
because they had killed Slice Rogue, I believe, during that, they would have won that fight because they had the overwhelming number ad. Demo, I think, was dead during that for Peru Tech. Image
Hmm.
are getting. I think they're just playing with pressure right now. It's not something that is characteristic of players that have multiple seasons of experience like them.
It's so easy, especially when like you have a demo pick and there's no stickies on point. Like it's so easy to just want to just play point, which you should do. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want all five or all four people that are in the Uber or whatever to drop down and try and play point. It's so there's a nonstop pull, and I can say this from like a demo perspective in particular, because that's what I play. Like you really want to like stand on that floor because that's like the easiest place to shoot point from or whatever, but that's not where like you need to train yourself not to.
Right.
um
I
you need
agree.
to just take that positioning, like the ideal gully wash Uber. You take positioning top right, you keep the positioning top right, you reheal, reload, do whatever you need to do, and then from there, then you can choose like your commit, your point pressure, all sorts of things. And sometimes like Ubers, you just teams will try to do too much with the Uber. They try to do everything like they're invincible. You're only invincible for a bit, and sometimes just taking a second for like a breather um, just helps that coordination and helps make those pushes more successful.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And that's going to be the huge question mark for Image heading to this half is, can they, right now, it's very, how they're playing is not something I would expect out of these players. Like Megasora, Taiga, Lemons, Gadilli, like these are all players who have ESEA, uh, at least high open ESEA or intermediate experience. Like that far back is their experience resume for TF2, and this is not something you would expect out of these players. So I think right now their mental is shot. They need to just regroup, take some time in the half, and just rethink things over and realize, this is not the way to play Gully Wash, and this isn't how they play the team normally. They just need to rethink and just play at their pace because 30 minutes is
Hmm.
definitely enough time on Gully Wash to get two
Absolutely.
rounds.
And Gully Wash is like the mid to last map. It's so easy to go from mid towards a team's last. It's all so tightly packed. And honestly, I I think actually I have the log right here. I can check.
Yes.
Okay, mid fights were 50-50. It felt like Image was a bit stronger on these mids, honestly, than Peru Tech was. Maybe I'm just like biased or just looking from the wrong perspective or whatever, but there were multiple opportunities they had with like. Actually, you know what? Now that I say that, I don't think that's true. I think that the mids they've been winning, Gadilli's been dying, and the mids that Peru Tech's been winning, Slice Rogue has been living. So maybe that's just wrong.
If you remember every mid for Image, they started off the mid by having Negasaur walk straight up against Earl, and one time it worked out, or one time it didn't work out. That was the first mid where they absolutely wiped, and then just momentum went
Hmm.
into chaos for them. And then every time after, they
Actually,
just kept doing it, but it had mixed bag of results.
you know what it is? It wasn't Gadilli dying on the mids that they win. It's Slice Rogue still living. So Slice Rogue's been doing well about getting out, and instead of having those like free mid to last
Oh yeah,
opportunities
he's
with full
definitely
ad,
playing very passive with
yeah,
those.
it's instead like now it's evens on last. And they again just haven't been as successful with their sacks and don't seem to have that strong of an idea of what to do. They'll just spawn up a sniper or whatever and hope it works. But you need something more solid than that.
True, that is true. And we're just waiting on one more player. So we're just gonna let's keep continuing our discussion about main playoffs. So we were on Bungalow Alert
Mm-hmm.
versus Minions, and we're gonna get to the other match, Bulk versus Bunyan, soon. But to cap off, we left off at the point where you were just like, on Gully Wash, they won those two rounds with those very interesting strategies that definitely caught you off guard. and you said something along the lines of, if they do that stuff, we just use straight into them. Let's continue into that before we move on to before we continue our discussion with the number 1 versus number 8 seed match.
Oh, wait, say that again?
You were talking about you were talking about before the match, like during the match, the Wang Gang way that they like wander around Golly Wash. So I just want to continue up that point before we continue back on our discussion of the number 1 versus number 8 seed match, Bungalow versus Minions.
Right. So they had some ad opportunities, but their rounds were actually got off of just evens at last because they had some very inventive plays. So they had like a pyro Uber with a battalion through water, which we let them get too much cap time with that, and should have just responded with Uber instantly, pretty much, to deny that cap time, since they popped anyway. And then there was like a buff banner play actually that we didn't really know how to react to. In retrospect, that's probably pretty kiteable into spawn or like into the corner near the gun or something because they were through river. But we just used could have been worse for us honestly, but we got a force. But like in the chaos, I forget what happened, and we ultimately lost around to that. Is this a new STV as well?
We have gotten new connect.
Yeah,
we have gotten
I see
word
them
about the issues
looking
of Mosian.
for a new server.
So then, after that, let's move on to number 1 versus number 8. So you said Bungalow Alert. You thought they were the best team in Maine.
I think they are the best team. I guess they like don't really exist anymore, sadly. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that it was like a fluke that Minions won, obviously, because they just brought like the super roster. Maybe I just don't consider that like a main team in the same way. Not to say that like, oh, you're like cringe sandbaggers, like you're not a main team, but more so like that isn't really like, that wasn't a roster that they played with. They just kind of like
grabbed the
showed up.
they
just like showed up with that one day. So that's not really like what I consider like a team so much as like a pug scrim of advanced players or something.
What I do want to say though is Tristan had asked me prior to the match, like he asked me in the Nickel 6 Discord about my thoughts on Bungle Alert, and I said, you have a passive demo in Andrew, like most of the team plays off his passive damage, and they just kind of play around him. Maybe you think differently, but that was my thoughts, and I said, if you want to beat Bungalow Alert, you have to pick a Koth map against them, and they picked. Well, I said to avoid Bagel because I thought they would lose Bagel against Bungalow Alert, but they actually smashed Bungalow Alert, and I told them, if you want to beat them, you pick Product, Clear Cut, or Gully against them. And actually, Bungalow banned two of the maps that I recommended to Tristan. So,
yeah, I think. So I don't think Andrew's like passive per se because he has very good DM and like will put up crazy numbers on Koth and shit, but definitely like not a feeder.
I see him as somebody that they play around, so it looks like he's passive.
No, Andrew is definitely like a core element of that team for sure. I do think in retrospect it makes a lot of sense why you wouldn't pick Koth versus Minions, just by virtue of them like they very rarely scrimmed. I think we had a weekly pregame with them, and that was maybe one of 2 pre-games they had, and that was their only scrims this season, right?
Yeah.
So by virtue of that, you're looking at a team that's like kind of puggy in a way, like they haven't worked through all sorts of whatever issues they have in different holds and things like that. So I think Koth will smooth over a lot of those issues because it's more DM focused, and you don't need to worry as much about like holes and different defenses and things like that. That being said, though, like I've talked to the Bungalows a lot, and I don't know if they like had any issue Bagel Week and were just pretty dominant. They beat us on Bagel Week, um, and we were at the time considered a top team. Um, so it makes sense for them to think like Bagel's a strong map of theirs, but
They also did have to make a 0-3 comeback versus the original Peru Tech roster, who in their own right is a team you don't want to play against on Koth. So
yeah, that was actually an impressive win. And I think ours was like a 4-1,
4-2.
although it was like, was it, did we get 2 rounds? I know it was like triple, like the first 3 rounds were all
Oh, it's
like double
4-1. It was
overtime. It
4-1.
was
You're
very
right.
close.
I'm thinking about a different map.
But
It was
yeah,
Cat
it like
Map.
makes sense to pick it. And especially since like all the players that had like never played on minions that were there were, they were rostered. So it's not like they're like reporting a bunch of ringers and they're showing up with this like crazy roster that like would be very good on Koth. So definitely an understandable map pick, but kind of a heartbreaker. We were all hoping for the bungalow takeover, and sad to see that that did not happen.
And on to the last match. I don't have too much info on this, but I will give my remarks about these teams moving forward. Is number 2 seed Bulk Detonator State of Mind winning 2-0 against Bunyan Project. Though, granted, the first map Metalworks saw Bunyan Project up 3-1 at halftime, but sadly,
Yeah.
the Chell main calling, Raf was actually a recent addition
Mm-hmm.
after the loss of Dragavex, and he has been an upgrade. I would say in terms of his flexibility with his sniper to Dragavex, but granted that should have been, I would say, a more dominant match, but still takeaways from that match. I would say Pioneer Project, if they stick together with their core, I think they had a they had the strongest season out of anybody coming up from IM into main.
Yeah, I had a preseason scrim versus Bunyan Project, who this was back when we would like kind of just scrim whoever just to feel out teams, see what's what. So we didn't like expect much necessarily from like the IM move up team, but they offered like some resistance, and like right after that scrim, I knew like this is the sleeper team, and I think they proved that because it's not often you see a team that moves up and then still makes playoffs. Especially like they weren't even eighth seed either. They beat out Minions in like round win or whatever.
And they also beat Winning
Um,
Gang first match of the season.
I didn't know that. Definitely expect. Yeah, it's like super expected that Bulk Detonator wins that. I would say argue that it's actually expected that they like don't even drop rounds. So the fact that Bunyan Project got an early lead was quite impressive.
And I think the strongest player on that team, actually, if you don't consider Baba, who I think was good, I think somebody who
Baba
was
is
really
good.
slept on was, I think it's Mild. Obviously, Ku is good. That's an old ESA player, so I'm not gonna really mention him. But Mild, I thought he had a very big breakout season, and moving forward, I want to see how he does on other teams because he definitely paved the way for his team heading into heading into the season. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's my
I
thoughts.
I like them. I don't really know much about them. Like I know the like onions there, mild coop. I called it the coop team for a while. Um, they have, is it Chariot Medic?
Yes, coming over from Steam
Right.
Happy.
Um, I'm partial to Baba because I've like met him in real life and he's cool. But I don't really have a read much on those players. I super hope that they like stick together and run back main because they'll do well for sure. But I mean, as far as I can tell, like they seem like a cool team.
And Bulk Detonator State of Mind. They were subject to some controversy, but obviously, when you have a team that scrims like 5 nights a week, they're granted to have an edge above most of the teams in Maine. And Raygun was a very good pickup. So
Mm-hmm.
I think with even though they had a slow first map and they picked it up with a dominant 5 on the second map, they should be the favorites versus Image heading into the
Yeah, I'd definitely
semifinals.
say so.
Should Image win, that is. but it looks like Image are staring down the barrel of potential elimination. But
I think
yeah,
it is. I think regardless of whoever wins this, Bulk is definitely favored. I think now that Bungalows are eliminated, Bulk might be favored to win the division straight up, depending on the outcome of our and Minions match. Honestly, I think Minions might have a better shot versus them than we do.
it just depends on what
Um,
lineup they have. It is really.
but that doesn't mean we're not gonna still try and beat them regardless.
Yeah, I mean, Dragovex was good in his own right, but Raph, if I'm gonna choose to upgrade somebody, then I pick up Raph over Dragovex. Maybe I might be biased because of his clan tag, but Raph, very seasoned I am player, usually a scout me, but he's classing now on the roamer role, and he's been good in his own right. I hate playing against him when he's on sniper. I remember in my ESCA Open days, I played against him on a team where he was with Jaguar. Yeah, I figured that guy. Scary
Yeah, I
guy.
have like super no read on Bulk because we just like never scrimmed them because we blacklisted them, unfortunately.
I wonder why. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the disappointments or the takeaways from the season. Um, my takeaway from this season is this is a very a closer season than I thought. Like there were two teams that were ahead of the others, but I saw some weaknesses from a lot of the top teams. Even Image too. Like they lost a bit to Wang but Wang was weak against a few other teams. But aside from that, this was the first season where I felt like, you know, even though the top two teams were ahead of all the others, there
Hmm.
was no clear winner of this division. Whereas last season and the few seasons
Yeah,
back, maybe except for like season 4 or season 3 of Maine, where the team that won that was a team that, yeah, let's not talk about it. But this was a very interesting season to say the least.
yeah, I think it's awesome actually that every team has beaten like, or every team has lost to another team at some point, and there wasn't any like clear standout they're gonna win. Um,
Sure.
I mean, even seeing like the eighth seed beat the first seed in the first round is like, while I hate that it happened to like my friends, it's still like that's interesting at the very least and cool to see. Um,
STM is
yeah,
good
it's
to see
been
at
like
least. We can continue.
it's just been all over the place. Yeah, I've seen Moistium 240 ping, so hopefully that lowers. Otherwise, the server switch might not have been for any purpose. But yeah, it's been a cool season of main. We will see who wins.
This is
Um,
the one time where I don't think there's a clear winner. But
yeah,
if Image
definitely.
loses this match, then I think I know where the clear winner is.
Um, I wouldn't be so sure, honestly, because I think Image is still going to have a very tough time versus Bulk. Especially if they're having a tough time versus Peru Tech, like on their own map pick. Um, I don't know. I honestly like, as much as like it's good to say like anyone can win. I unironically think that any team that's still in playoffs right now could win. Okay, maybe I'm a Peru Tech doubter, but they've already like proven me kind of wrong during this series. So who's to say, really?
Minions is the one where I can't just say they're the clear favorite because, like I said, I don't know what lineup they'll bring to the table every
Yeah,
day.
I think if
So
they like, okay, maybe Maine kind of sucks this season because there is a team that like if they just choose that they want to win, they probably just can by fielding like the mega roster. But I mean, they're still like a beatable team. It's not like we still have a chance. And maybe I'll eat my words and we'll just get like double 5-0'd, but we'll see.
I